Secure your tinfoil hats, buckle down tight, and hold on loosely as we soar over the rocky tops of the La Platas on a rocky mountain high, get sucked into the vortex of the Four Corners, and settle down snugly at mile marker 420 in colorful Colorado. It is Saturday, May 16th, Sunday, May 17th for those of you across the pond and beyond. Welcome to We Are Paradox Media's Late Night in the Rockies. I'm so glad you guys could join us this evening. I'm your host, Tessa TNT, and we are live tonight in beautiful, colorful Bayfield, Colorado. We finally got that summer weather coming in, and man, the ice box has turned into a hot box. But I'm so glad you guys could join us on one of our many outlets. Tonight we're live on Spreaker.com under We Are Paradox Media. We're also live on Periscope TV under Tessa TNT, so you could see the video there. And we're also on a lot of other outlets. We're on Twitter, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iTunes, iHeartRadio, CastBox, Tumblr, YouTube, SoundCloud, TuneIn Radio, Deezer, as well as Podcast Addict. So, I'm just wondering how everybody's doing out there in the world. How is your lockdown doing? I've been trying to stay pretty busy here around the house. I've done a lot of house cleaning. I've done a lot of outside work. I just hung up like five hummingbird feeders today. So hopefully we'll get a whole swarm in there, which I'm excited about. But at the same time, I heard if you don't feed them in a timely manner, they know who feeds them. They pay attention to that. And if you don't feed them in a timely manner, you could get attacked by some hummingbirds, which I'm hoping doesn't happen. It's amazing how we work on lockdown, how we try to keep safe, and then beyond all that we've tried to do to stay locked down, you have family showing up. I have family from Arkansas that showed up. I have, who else showed up? Oh, my daughter from Moab showed up this last week. And then she just let me know yesterday that she is sick. So I don't know what's going on with that. I guess she started coughing when she got here. I don't know if it's allergies or something else. Hoping it's not something else. And if you can't tell, I'm stalling because my internet has been all jacked up. For some reason, my sister Lisa, who is also my neighbor, she told me that they're working on the internet again and they're putting in Ethernet cables, which they just did that. So I'm not sure what exactly the plan is, but I'm excited tonight to introduce you guys to Jack Brewer of Memphis Ghost Hunters. And I'm trying to pull up their bio here really quick. If my computer would cooperate, it's right, y'all. So the Memphis Ghost Hunters are located in Memphis, Tennessee, and their main focus is helping people with the paranormal side of things that happen to be in their home. They try to figure out if it's something paranormal, if it might be something else. They also try different experiments with paranormal gear and try to debunk every little situation. They focus on facts and proof of the evidence of what's paranormal and what is not. They don't rely on mediums at this point, and they love finding the truth on their own. The Memphis Ghost Hunter team consists of 3 investigators and 1 audio guy. You can reach out to them on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Hey, Jack, welcome, and thanks so much for hanging out with me tonight.
Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate that.
So again, sorry for the delay there. I know I was having tech issues, and I tried to get to you as soon as possible, but I hope I didn't leave you hanging for too long.
No, I'm good.
Awesome. So how's lockdown been for you guys? How's it over there in Tennessee?
Not too bad. They just started opening up. I think we're in phase 2 right now. Opening up restaurants, but doing like half capacity, and Walmart's still open.
I know. Every time I go to Walmart, I'm like, there's more than 10 people here. There's at least 500.
Let's say where I live at, these people don't really care what the government says. They're just going to do what they want to do. So they'll flood everything. I mean, it's just basically what it is. It's a big city, so people are going to do what they want, and they're not going to pay attention to any type of virus or anything. They're just going to keep doing what they do. Just being honest. I'm gonna live in the hood. But yeah, that's what they do. To be honest with you.
It is funny how it is different in different parts of the country. So many people take it very seriously, and then, like you
Right.
said, on the other hand, other people are just like, I'm just going to do whatever.
Yeah, I stopped all like personal clients right now. Um, we're not doing any in-home stuff at this moment. Just due for the fact I don't want to put my team in risk for COVID-19. You know.
Yeah, I
So, but
agree.
we're still doing other things.
Yeah. Are you guys doing like Facebook Lives and such where people can watch you that way?
Yeah, we do Facebook Live, like we did one today at an old abandoned church, and every Saturday night we pick a topic on the paranormal and stuff, and talk about insights and stuff that we see on Facebook, and it's pretty cool, you know. I've been doing that for like 2 years straight on the online thing, so it goes pretty good. You get a bunch of people some days, and some days you don't.
Yeah, it's been interesting here. We've been going through ghost hunting withdrawals basically, and my house, I don't know about yours, but my house is pretty haunted on its own. So we do stuff out in the yard and around the house and stuff, and we're getting our kicks one way or another.
Right. I don't know about withdrawal. Now, one of my investigators, Nick, he has withdrawals on a daily basis. So, but my house is very haunted, believe it or not. Me and my wife, we could hear people walking upstairs when it's just me and her and our little one. Uh, quick little reference or rundown. Her grandfather owned this house, and he died upstairs, where our bedroom is at. Um, I've gotten his name through our spirit box on more than one occasion, and when I mean name, I'm talking full name, which I never really get a full name, like when I'm investigating, like elsewhere. Um, but that was pretty weird. That's never happened. So it kind of freaked her out a little bit.
Well, at least it's family, it's somebody you know, right?
Right, right. Yeah, it's family, you know, and at least it's not something pure evil or something like that, you know.
Yeah.
But it's weird because there's a cemetery right up the road from us, like less than a mile away. And we've actually done a couple investigations in my home, you know, like testing out new equipment and whatnot. And it's just funny how the voices and things that kind of happen, you know, it's like they're coming and going. It's just weird. It's like being on a major interstate, you know, cars going one way, cars going another way, you know. So it's one of the weird things, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it's kind of like that around our house. Like, we started off with just one ghost when we moved here, and his name was John. And it's funny, like, I was calling him John before I found out what his real name was. And he died here from emphysema. And he's a really cool guy. He's nice. He's laid back. He leaves everybody alone. One time I was here alone and getting ready for work and was walking past my bedroom window to get to my vehicle, and all of a sudden I hear a man coughing in my bedroom and nobody else was here, so that freaked me out. But otherwise, it's like, I don't know if it's because I do ghost hunting or because myself as well as my kids are spiritually gifted, so it's kind of like a
right.
beacon or like a magnet for them.
Yeah, it's like my wife. She felt connected, I guess you could say. And I took her on one investigation with me, and she's only been on one and one only. And I've been doing this for some years now. And we did this house not too far from here. And what's so crazy about this house that we did? Do we have time for the story for it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. So the story behind this house. All right, in this area, in the 18, was it 18? I think it was like 1890, 1880, somewhere around there. Well, anyway, it was just nothing but dairy farmlands, no trees, nothing like that. And the lady was married to this guy. Well, they had two children, but the kids were her stepchildren. Well, they had an argument, according to papers, and the argument was over planting corn for feed. Well, he was still in bed. They had a big argument. Anyway, he left to go work in the fields and whatnot. Well, she ended up killing the kids. And then they hung her right across the street from where the original house was actually at. Okay? According to papers, anyway. So, in 2000, what was that, 13? No, 14. There was this young man there, and he practiced a lot of devil worshiping and stuff, and his father was a prominent lawyer here in Memphis. Well, anyway, there was threats back and forth that he was going to kill his mama and all this crap. They didn't take him serious. Well, he ended up getting an ice pick and killing his mother with an ice pick. And on the story of it is when he went to trial, the trial, they told him, or he told them that the kids told me to do it. All right. This gets even better. Okay. So, remember, this is the first investigation my wife's been to. She's already like pretty leery about this whole thing. And anyway, so I'm outside calling one of the other investigators. He wasn't able to show up. I was trying to give him a little rundown of what's going on and that kind of stuff. And anyway, I go back inside. I decided to listen to the recorder. All right. So I start listening to the recorder, and I get a voice clear as day that said, "Push her ass." At that time, my wife was like 4 months pregnant. She was freaking out. So anyway, I decided just to walk around the house and stuff, and I'm with the owner, and we did a couple of things outside. The K2 meter was going kind of crazy, ended up being some electrical wire above, and we're digging around because something wasn't right. And so, granted, on the story that I just said, we go like these bushes around the house, and he's only lived there for like a year, so he hasn't really done a whole lot. There's a statue of 3 children on the side of the house that he didn't even know about. And it wasn't 2 children, it was 3 children that got killed. But the statue was one of them garden statues of the little children, but there was 3 of them on the side of the house. And dude was all freaked out about it. So I thought it was kind of weird because, like, 3 kids get killed. The guy years later, goes to court and he says the children told me to kill his mama. So it's like the children that actually died probably thought that was the stepmama trying to get revenge. That's what it seems like. I look at all the court papers and all that, and it was just really weird on the whole thing. But lots of activity. I mean, a lot. And what's really crazy is, this is what I found very intriguing. In the living room, okay, he's got like wooden floors, right? But there's that square in a very weird position on the floor. And I asked him about that. He said, "Oh, that's when the young boy killed his mama. There was a blood stain on the wood floor, so they just cleaned it up as good as they could and put a rug around it. Like installed a rug." It's just weird where it's at, though. Like, it's in like a little corner, and that's it. And it's just weird where they place it. It's just crazy. But anyway, not to ramble on, but it was just really weird.
So they took out,
it was very weird,
the blood-soaked wood and put another patch there, or they just cleaned it?
Right.
Okay.
Well, according to the realtor, because he did some research about it, they had a company come in and clean the floor up. But the wood was stained so bad, they didn't want to cut the wood out. So it was cheaper installing some rug than it was trying to replace hardwood floors. That's what they say. So It's still really weird. I mean, I ain't never seen it like that before. You just had to see where the carpet was at. It was just very odd area, like where you normally wouldn't put carpet.
Yeah.
It's just weird,
So did you
and it
guys
looked
run?
goofy as hell.
Yeah, you're like, that is so out of place.
It was very out of place. I mean, it was just weird, but beautiful home. Dude had an awesome pool in the backyard. Single man, travels, you know. He had it made.
Sure.
Great bachelor pad.
So while you guys were there, did any of the kids come through, or anybody else like the?
um, I kept getting a little girl's voice, um, but it sounded like a little girl, but the voice wasn't clear enough. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
couldn't really make out what it was saying. Um, it was just really weird. I got some voices, but nothing related to what even happened in the house, which I'm still mind boggled about that. And that was 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
And
weird.
it's funny how some ghosts are able to travel to different locations. They're not stuck in one place or the other. So
Right.
maybe they just found that property interesting, or maybe it had a high energy coming off of it.
I don't really know. I mean, just the area that it's at, because like here's a problem with a lot of ghost hunters. They don't think like, how can I say this without being respectful here? People who ghost hunt, like the younger crowds and stuff, they look at what's there now, not thinking about what was there before, you know. And before there was nothing there. You know what I mean? So it kind of makes you, I don't know, it just makes you really think like the travel thing and what could really happen. I don't know. It's just hard to say, really.
I love the paranormal.
Unless you're like me. Well, I have a theory. You want to hear my theory?
Yes.
This is what my theory is. And people think I'm crazy. Preachers think I'm crazy when I say this. So I kind of feel like we're in a big fishbowl. Okay? I think when we die, we don't go to heaven. We don't go to hell. I think we are in a big fishbowl, but in a different dimension. I don't think heaven or hell is of this earth. And the real reason why I say that, and people think I'm crazy for saying this. So I'm not a very religious man, but the Bible states that if you believe in Jesus, it states that he's going to prepare a kingdom for his people. We are his people. Okay? And so when we die, we're going to have to go somewhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
Supposedly, we got to go somewhere. So and then it also says in the Revelations that he will be as a thief in the night to get his people. So I think, this is just my theory, I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but I really believe that when we die, we go to places that where we're comfortable because we don't know where to go. And sometimes I feel like when we're dead, we could be lost, and we don't know what year it is. We don't know. I just believe it's a whole different dimension, and we just don't know where we're going, but we find a spot where we feel comfortable. That's what I think. I could be wrong, but that's
Yeah.
how I kind of think about it in a way. Because I've been to places doing investigations where I've gotten stuff and it had nothing to do with that area or that home or that location. It had nothing to do with it. That's what makes me think, But I know it sounds crazy, but some people think I'm crazy anyway, so.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I love the different theories because we don't truly know what's going on, and we're all trying to figure it out,
Right.
and we might not ever know until we get there. But as a kid, I didn't at first grow up religious, but I always sought out like different churches, what's the meaning of life, so on and so forth, because I lost my mom when I was 5, almost 6, to a drunk driver. So like these questions came to
Yeah.
me quite early in my life. So I'm seeking out these different answers. And then I got into, well, I've been ghost hunting my whole life, but I really got into it as far as coming out of the paranormal closet in 2012. And
Mm.
I've come to the realization that because people ask, how come they're not in heaven? Why are they here? And they really freak out when it's a kid. Like, oh, that must be a
Right.
demon, you know? But I don't think it is. I think it's because, one, you know, we were given the gift of free will or free agency, whatever you want to call it. And two, it's called Judgment Day, not Judgment Days. So I think there's one Judgment
Right.
Day. And when it comes down to it, we'll all be there together and we'll all receive our judgment or however it works, you know?
Correct.
So
I
to me
agree with
that,
that.
yeah, that makes sense to me. Like we're all just, you know, doing our own things. Sometimes we're stuck, like you said, because we don't know we died, or we could
Right.
have, you know, due to our beliefs, we could be stuck there because we believe in purgatory or whatnot, and this is the reason that this certain thing happened. So we're stuck in this location, or like you said, willy nilly. My mom, okay, I used a Ouija board once, and my mom finally came through. The second time I used it that night, so I guess I used it twice, but once, you know, for real, for real. I tried to get on there the first time. I was like, hey, can I talk to my mama? And it said no. And I was like, well, fuck you then. I'm not doing this. I went and took a shower. I was in the military rehabilitation platoon at the time. And it was during Hurricane Bonnie of all things. And I come back out and
Right.
the Ouija board's on my rack and got on there and it just started pinging, saying my siblings' names, everything. But she said she could be anywhere she wants, anytime she wants. She could fly, she can astral hop, like she could do so many different things. And it just makes sense to me. Like maybe she's free to do that because of free agency and because Judgment Day hasn't happened yet. And then I feel
Yeah.
like I was rambling.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I mean, that's what I think, man. I've had preachers hang up the phone on me or didn't want to talk to me because of what I had to say about it. And I talked to a couple of Catholic priests before, you know, like at Walmart or whatever, and asked them. And
You see
they
everybody
didn't
at Walmart.
but the Catholic priests, they never have. I've talked to two of them, and neither one of them have ever disagreed with me about it. I thought that was something, you know, because I think they know something that we don't know. That's just my opinion. Because they didn't disagree,
Yeah.
but they didn't agree, you know. So that's what makes it interesting on the whole thing. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah, so many unanswered questions, and I love the paranormal because every story is different. You know,
Right.
nothing's the same. Nothing works the same as far as cleansing and stuff. You have to do different things for different stories and different happenings. You know, it's all different, so that's what
Right.
keeps it interesting. Because it can be kind of monotonous. You know, you see these shows where you know it's excitement the whole time or whatnot. You could be there for a whole
That's not
week.
the case.
Yeah, you could be there for a whole week and get a clip here, a clip there, a clip here, you know, and be able to make up a whole hour show or whatever
Right.
with good stuff. But otherwise, you have to be a very patient and understanding person, and you have to really be
Very.
in it.
Yeah, that's what I told my team. You just be very patient because you never know what's going to happen. And always keep that camera rolling because you don't know what's going to happen. We've had some pretty cool stuff happen. But yeah, I just, like right now for me and my team, I kind of had to make a little step back because there's some crazy, crazy stuff going on in this field. I'm not kidding you. Like I think a lot of people have lost the whole aspect of it. That's just my personal opinion, but I always say
Yeah.
that. But can I just tell my people, I tell everybody on my team, stop watching Facebook.
Are they getting bad
Not
ideas?
your show, not your show. It's just some of these other things are just, you know, stuff that makes me mad. You know, like I'm in this field because I like to help people. Okay, and that was my number one goal. And a lot of people wanted to know what's really going on. And sometimes you get stuff, and sometimes you just don't get nothing. You know,
Yeah,
and
it just all depends.
you know, I just see this stuff on just not Facebook, YouTube, you know, and it's like, man, this don't make no dang sense. You know, okay, here's a prime example. Okay, we all know about Annabelle. Some believe Annabelle's haunted. Some believe it's not. But there's people out there that will go to Goodwill or Salvation Army and buy them damn porcelain dolls. And the next thing you know, they are on Facebook, Twitter, talking about, hey, can you look at this doll and tell me what you feel and see?
I've seen that, yeah.
Right? And I just want to reach through the computer and just shake the hell out of them. I ain't gonna lie to you. Because I don't think, don't get me wrong, I do believe there's haunted stuff out there. I do believe there probably is dolls out there that are haunted. But I don't think every single doll out there is. I just see too much of it. So that's why we took a step back. I was just throwing that out there as an example, you know. So we had to take a step back on a lot of things, you know, because it's like mediums. I believe in mediums, but some things that happened to one person I know, and it kind of just made me take a step back because there's some bad stuff going down, and I just like, no, I can't do this anymore, you know. But I'm not saying I don't believe in mediums, but I believe they're real. But clients I've had in the past, and you bring a medium with you, and you know, mediums, like when I take a medium with me, they don't know anything about location. I kind of leave that out there, you know. All they know is you're going to meet me at this address at 6:45. We're going to set up. I'm going to bring you in at 8:30. You're going to do a walkthrough, and you tell me what you got. Oh, yeah. That's the best way I could do it.
Well, that's how I like it, though. Even though I don't label myself as a medium or a psychic, I am very spiritually inclined, and I don't like to know things before I go into a place because I believe the mind is a very powerful thing, and you could actually, you know, hype yourself up, make yourself think certain things, or you could experience something because you're just hyping it up. I like to go in and capture what I may and then give it to the client and then hear the story. Because that way it's, for me, it's more true, more real, and you're getting the better aspect of it instead of having this precognition of what could happen and going from there. I think it could really mess stuff up going that route.
Yeah, so like I the reason why, the main reason why I backed away is because people, I don't know about on your side of the country, but I know on my side of the country, people want to know the proof, the facts. You know what I mean? It needs to be proven. And like I've talked to different mediums and stuff, and it's like, well, you just have to believe me. Well, what you're saying has nothing to do with what's going on at this particular time. You know what I mean? So I have clients that they want to know the truth. They don't want you to BS them. Just be very blunt. Is my house haunted? Yes or no? Okay, that's what they want to know. Am I in danger? Gotta give them an answer. You know, did you get anything or did you catch anything? You know, that's how they are, you know. But I kind of felt like some mediums, not all of them, just some of them, that is not giving you the correct info for me to tell the client, you know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you're like, no, that's not what I'm looking for because they're telling this whole other story. And you're no, that's not that's not what I'm looking for.
Well, I had to step away. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I had to talk about this because there was this medium that I know, and they were going to let their little children investigate, and I had a problem with that. They said that they would be supervised during the investigation. Okay, that's fine. Okay, they're going to be supervised. They're kids. All kids need to be supervised. But my whole thing was that you can't protect them as you say you can. The spiritual world is going to be stronger than what you are. That's how I feel. They could get an attachment because they're more gullible to that surrounding. We
Mm-hmm.
all know how children and kids and teenagers they're sensitive. I mean, it's a proven fact, especially if they're going through puberty.
Yeah.
It's all opened up, you know. So I kind of said what I had to say about it, and I got a little too aggressive, I guess you could say.
Well, you were
But
very passionate about it.
very. So I kind of felt like, you know, you could say you're supervising the kid, you're watching the kid and everything else, but on the spiritual side of things, the kid could have an attachment and a long life attachment, in my opinion. I don't care who supervises, and that really made me mad. And this was a medium that was doing this, and I did not agree with it, and like he predicted the coronavirus months ago.
Oh, wow. That's funny because
Really?
a lot of psychics and mediums didn't pick up on it. They were picking up on a big change, a big shift, but nobody picked up
Right.
on the virus. So for them to
Yeah.
do that,
So
that's pretty
I
amazing.
heard mediums talking about like 4 or 5 months ago. Uh, I know one, and she told me there was going to be a change in the shift. Okay, whatever. Maybe it's going to get cold again, or it's going to rain more, or whatever. I didn't really care. Like, oh well. But if you get on your site and you tell the whole world out there that you knew about the virus, but you didn't know what the name of the virus was, why didn't you speak up then? So this is what's made me rethink a lot of things, especially for me and my team. Because we just feel like we need to be more truthful towards the people. You know what I mean? Because they want to know the facts. Like, you're a ghost hunter. I'm a ghost hunter. People love seeing orbs, apparitions, voices. Uh, if you use a SLS camera or a Connect Cam, whatever, seeing the stick figures. If you have the portal, they love seeing the lights and the sounds and all that. Right or wrong. So, by that side of stuff, I just don't know. Sorry, I didn't mean to ramble. I wasn't even going to talk about that tonight, but I'm sorry.
Oh, that's no worries. I mean, I agree with you completely as far as like,
It's just
this is your group and you have a medium and they're bringing their kids in. Okay, it's one thing you have kids, they're gifted. You want to train them, but do that on your
right.
own time. Don't bring them on a case and because you are going to feel responsible for them if something happens. And it is
Yeah,
very unprofessional to do and
it's
it's very
very
dangerous.
well. They try to send me a message on Facebook and try to call me, and I just flat out told them they were fake. I did. I didn't care because it's not about BS games. Like, you're doing something that's completely stupid. That's what this field's not about. If you can't be real to yourself, you don't need to do this. I'm just being honest. And trust me, I've been kicked out of many paranormal groups on Facebook for speaking up. And
Yeah.
I'm fine with that, you know. But I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. We are blunt. We're gonna say what we want to say, when we want to say it, and how we gonna say it. Ain't nobody gonna tell us no different.
Ain't gonna sugarcoat it.
So a lot of people don't like me for that. And that's fine. But that was just something that was really heavy on me. And I talked, before I even spoke up, I talked to some people on my team about it. And one of the person on my team said, just speak up, man. Just tell it like it is. So I just went down the line and I just told it like it was. And that's why I told everybody, we're taking a step back. We need to really think about this because I think like a lot of, not paranormal groups, but discussion groups, I guess you could say, on Facebook and YouTube and all that. I kind of tell everybody, just back away from that, because all it's going to do is just going to drain you. You're just going to get drained from it because you know for yourself what's true, what's not. Because you're going to have a gut feeling about something regardless. So I tell them, just back away, We got to do what we got to do, and that's what I do. And that's how I started. When I first started, that's what I did. I just want to show the evidence. I want to show the proof. And if I don't find nothing, I don't find nothing. If I do find something, I'm going to share it. Now, I have clients that have gotten mad because I said I didn't get nothing. It's
Like,
like
what
they
do you
wanted a
mean?
haunted house. I mean, for real. I'm not kidding. So that's why, in my reviewing, I'll go over it and over it and over it and over it just to make sure, I don't want to miss nothing. But I know I'm rambling. I'm sorry.
Well, no, and it's best to, be honest and give them a real answer
Right,
instead of
right.
saying, hey, we found this, and that when it's not true. And some intelligent entities are very intelligent, and they can hear you talking about, hey, there's a ghost group going to be coming over, and, let's do this and let's do that. And they can hear what they're saying. So I've been on a case before like that where you go in and you don't get anything because it knows you're coming. And it just hides because it doesn't want you to know it's there. It doesn't want you to get rid of it, even though that's not always what you're trying to do. They're very
Right.
smart.
That's like when I tell my clients, before I do an investigation, I do like a pre-investigation. So I go out and I meet everybody. I tell them what to expect, how this is going to go down if we do an investigation. And then I would tell them, we'll set our dates or whatnot. And I'll tell them, don't talk about it. Don't even think about it. Because I've noticed when you talk about it, ain't nothing going to happen.
Yeah.
I'll say, just ignore it. Whatever it is, no matter if you're scared or afraid. If you're afraid, call me. We'll come sooner, But I just tell them, don't even think about it. And when they do that, man, you're talking about having some good evidence. It'd be jumping.
Well, on that note, we're going to go to our first musical break. And on this break, we have Gravity from Krakow, Poland with Throw You Away and Take a Walk in My Shoes. And then we have Mr. Fred Johnson III, who's my favorite. And he's from Canyon County, California with After Dark. You guys don't go anywhere. We'll be right back right after this.
easy. Tell me what to do. Have you ever stopped to think all the things that I've been through? No, it's easy. Tell me what to do. Have you ever stopped to think all the things that I've been through? Don't you take a walk? Don't you take a walk in my shoes? Or don't you, baby, take a walk before you tell me what to do? Don't you take a walk? Don't you take a walk in my shoes? Or don't you, baby, take a walk before you tell me what to do? Perfect day, yeah. Living at the dark, I search lonely streets to find hidden shadows in the dark. It doesn't matter what I say. Secret homicides arranged in a series of pursuits. No matter what I say. Face because she had the range. I knew she was the one that never could go home again. Plastic life like limo seats. I don't know why I can't control this urge to hurt again. Yeah. Living at the dark, I search lonely streets to find.
Welcome back, and thanks so much for joining us tonight on We Are Paradox Media's Late Night in the Rockies. Tonight we have Mr. Jack Brewer from Memphis, Tennessee, and he's also from Memphis Ghost Hunters. Welcome back, and thanks so much for hanging out with me tonight.
Thank you for having me. Having a blast.
I'm glad.
Excuse me.
I'm glad you're not bored to death or bored to tears.
Nah. This is normal for me.
Yeah. I got a lot of people saying, I like it here because, I don't sit there and pick them apart and stuff. I like hanging out, hearing your different paranormal stories and such.
I'm like an onion. Layers and layers now.
Right?
Start picking.
Start picking away.
Right.
What I like to ask our guests when they're on, and my favorite question is, when did you first experience the paranormal? Like, did you experience it as a kid? And if so, can you tell us about it?
Well, I used to be like how can I explain it? I used to be the person that went to church every Sunday and Wednesday and showed up for Tuesdays, maybe Thursday, maybe showed up on Saturday to cut the grass. So I was very religious at one point in my life. Anyway, my dad got real sick, and he actually passed away 11 years ago. No, 12 years now. And that kind of tore me up. Started drinking and everything else, And anyway, I got chills just talking about this. So about a week after the funeral, I just stayed in my room for like a week. I didn't go to work. I didn't do anything. Lost my job. And I felt something cold on my shoulder. It was about 1:30ish in the morning. And I was sitting on the edge of the bed. And it was on my right shoulder. I'll never forget it. And I heard my dad's voice. And he called me Jackie. Now, my dad was the only person that called me Jackie because his name was Jack. And my grandfather's name was Jack. Most of the time, they just called me Little Jack. And so that kind of freaked me out. So I kind of blew it off for a few years, didn't think anything about it. And then I told someone my story. And a guy was like, hey, man, go watch these videos, try this, try that. So I was really interested in it, And then my wife now kind of pushed me into it. Like, she knew I had a passion for it. Like, I did stuff like here and there, stuff I saw on TV. I'm be honest with you, I took a little recorder and just asked stupid questions like, are you dead or alive? Who's here? Blah, blah, blah. And so I started getting responses, and then my wife bought me a spirit box. So she's kind of one that like really said, here, you have this gift for it and you're good at it. Just let's buy this stuff and let's go with it. So I started doing stuff on my own. And then she just basically said, you need to start your own team because you got something good here. So like I came up with a name. I was going to call it Memphis Paranormal. And I was like, no, I need something that where people could reach me. So I called it Memphis Ghost Hunters. And I'm not going to lie, overnight, holy hell, it shot up. I was like, whoa. Like, I started putting these little videos out. I mean, nothing big, like they have a place called the Old Raleigh Cemetery. It's an abandoned cemetery. No one goes out there. And I started doing dumb stuff like asking stupid questions. Are you dead? Can you see me? What color is my shirt? So I started getting like intelligent answers. That was kind of crazy. So if it wasn't for my wife, I probably wouldn't be doing it. She has really motivated me to go as far as I have so far. Like, I got tons of followers, I mean, I'm not trying to boast about numbers or nothing like that, but it's like really boom, man. Like, it's hard to explain. Like, it's just something overnight, and I got connected with the right people basically at the right time. Because like here in Memphis, paranormal groups, they pop up, but they just disappear. There's only 2 groups here in town that's staying alive with it, you know. But it has its downtime and stuff, but it's fine. But just everything about it just really intrigued me, and like I said, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be doing it.
Yeah, and it's funny, because you're telling me about your numbers, 27K. I was like, holy shnikes. And then how your wife puts it
For
when you guys
real.
go to Walmart and it takes you like 5 hours because everybody wants to talk to you. And she's like, man, do you think she ever regrets it?
No. The only time she gets mad is like if I go to an investigation and I forget to call her and let her know that I'm there. Or if we take a break and I don't call her, or if I don't call her on my way home. But I mean, she's really cool about it. I mean, it's just, it worked. Like the numbers on Facebook. I mean, I'm just gonna be honest. I don't know how I got that many, but in like a week, there's no joke. In 1 week after having that page up, I had over 1,000.
Wow.
I was like, shit. What? I must have been doing something right. But I was very blunt. I was very honest, and that's how I kept it.
Did you do a lot
You
of
know?
Facebook Lives and stuff when you started, or did you mostly just post things? Or
Man, I was just posting like little photos of like just me alone at this graveyard. And I put a caption, is it going to scare the hell out of me or what? You know, ...
Yeah.
You know, it's just stupid stuff. And then I started posting some little memes and stuff like that. And then after that kind of took off, my wife's like, you know, well, you need to get a team together. But that was the hard part.
Yeah. Well, it was weird for me because, okay, so we started in 2012. That's when I came out of the paranormal closet, and we did it because my daughter's friend went missing. He'd actually moved up to
Right.
Colorado Springs, and then he was forced by a judge to come back and see his dad for Thanksgiving break, and his dad ended up killing him that night that he arrived. And it was Thanksgiving break, and I was just like, man, you know, I just want to help. I want to help. And so that's what made me come out of the paranormal closet. Like I said, I've experienced the paranormal my whole life. And as a kid, I would tell my friends, and they'd be like, oh, crazy. You know, this chick is crazy. Stay away from her. And so I learned not to say anything, and I learned to keep that stuff to myself unless I was really close with somebody and it came up, you know. But in
Right.
2012, I was like, forget about it. I'm going to get out there. I'm going to do this. And I need to help these people. And it started off as me, my mentor, Kat, Rhonda, and Glow. And then Kat passed away from cancer. Rhonda moved away. Glow moved away. And then it was just me. So we started doing the world's largest ghost hunt. I don't know if you guys have ever done that. But they want you to go to a local place for historic preservation, and you want to invite people from the outside to come in and charge them so much and then give that money to that place for historical preservation. And that's how I gained members. The first year I did it, that's my crew now. And every year people come in and out, and they're the ones that want to do it all the time, and they just want to have fun with it. But it's not like that. You don't get a lot of cases all the time. We go out and do it when we can, but for the most part, I want you to come every month for a meeting, and I want you to educate yourself so you can protect yourself and each other and the client and even the entity or spirit on the other side. You know, you need to be educated in order to be able to go on these client investigations. As far as going out for full moon hunts and stuff like that, like anybody can come.
Right.
But as far as going out and helping people, we educate ourselves so we're not hurting anybody and putting anybody in danger.
Now, the craziest thing I've done is there's a group in Ireland. Okay. And we did me asking the questions here in the United States through a loudspeaker in Ireland, and them asking questions from Ireland to here. And that was kind of cool. Did it work? No.
That's awesome.
But it was still cool. It was a cool experiment. But anyway, I had to throw that in there. It was pretty fun. I was hoping we would get something, but it didn't work.
You didn't really get anything?
Nothing. But it's a cool experiment. So I like it. I like doing different types of experiments, especially with equipment. So, and I got one coming up that it's probably going to blow some people's mind. You got time for it?
Yes.
All right. So here's what I'm going to do. Everybody talks about the portal and how great it is and blah, 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 right? Okay, cool. So I'm building one. I took all the information from Steve Huff that he has on his website, and I have everything right now except for the amp that he uses. It'll be here Wednesday. So, but I have to get me a crystal. I don't have a crystal yet. But anyway, so I'm going to build.
Can I send you one?
Yeah. I'll tell you, you send me a crystal, I'm going to send you a Memphis Ghost Hunter shirt. How's that sound?
Yay! I would love it. That's a good trade.
All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the copper wire. I'm going to build everything up, slam the crystal down on it, and we're going to see what happens. So here's my plan. Do an EVP session. I'm going to go to probably one of the most haunted places around Memphis that I could think of. Okay.
Which is?
It's a graveyard.
Ooh.
It has a lot of activity. It's called the Elmwood Cemetery. You see, it's the second oldest graveyard here in Memphis. So what I want to do is, I've been out there and done EVP sessions, even just with a digital recorder and gotten stuff. Spirit Box gotten a lot of stuff. I mean, it's just, there's so much activity there. So I'm going to take the PSB7 with my recorder, run it for 5-10 minutes, and then I'm going to do the same thing with, let me back up. They're all going to have the same questions, okay? Just so you know. Then I'm going to use my bringer. Look, this bad boy.
SB11. Yeah,
Right.
I have that one. The SB7's my favorite, though. I think the SB7 works way better than that one.
I got a video on YouTube. You can check it out. I did a review. So I'm going to do that with the same thing. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same thing with just using a recorder. Then I'm going to hook them all up to the portal that I built and do the same thing. Then I'm going to download the portal app and use the portal app and ask the same questions. So we're going to find out. It's going to be a little bit of an experiment. It's going to take some time, but I think it'd be a great experiment.
I think it'll be awesome.
See
and
what I
think
get.
people that build stuff that might see that, being you do have so many freaking followers, might send you stuff to test out too. That's awesome. I think that's an awesome
Wouldn't
idea.
that be awesome?
Heck yes. Because you can go broke doing this. This is like one of the most expensive hobbies I've ever had.
Yeah. But see, I built the mini portal that he has. It works pretty well. Like it's pretty cool. It's just an amp with a reverb pedal and noise gate pedal. That's it. That's basically what the whole portal is anyway. It's just taking out the white noise, adjusting the reverb and whatnot. So the build's pretty simple. I mean, it's not really hard. It just costs a lot of money to build it. But I have most of the stuff here anyway, except for the amp, and that's about like $200 for that amp. So I bought it like a dumbass, I know, but it's going to be cool.
I think it'll be worth it. I think you'll come up with something that you're really going to like.
I even got the lights to go inside of it. Michael's, can you believe it? Michael's for $10. You can get the little lights that go in there, run off the battery. That's all it is. So it's going to be a cool experiment. I mean, I hope it. I'm hoping for something good out of this. I hope. But if not, oh well. I tried. I tried some really dumb stuff, like I've done stuff like taking the PSB7, removing antennas and the magnets and cutting the wires. And I got one like that where I still get radio, but not like if I had the antenna on one. So I got one completely torn apart, one that's not. You know, just to see. And,
so can you tell
I
us
don't.
like how they work differently? Do you still get stuff on the one that the antenna is out of?
It depends where you're at, really. Okay. So if you're in a big city like Memphis, for instance, okay, you're going to pick up a lot of radio stations. So what I try to do is try to run out as fast as I can. 50 millisecond. And sometimes I don't get nothing, but what I like doing is running it all in reverse. So, it's like, I don't know how old you are, but, when I was a kid growing up, man, we used to take them little records, and we'd do them in reverse.
Yeah.
Like Ozzy Osbourne kind of stuff,
Beatles.
Listen to the devil talk to you. That's basically what it is, You're just running crap in reverse. So I've had a lot of great experience with running the Spirit Box in reverse. And that's what I like about the 11. The only thing I don't like about the 11, I'll go ahead and tell you right now what I do not like about it. It's got a freaking buzzing, winding sound when it's on AM. It's irritating as shit. Mm-hmm. The dumbest thing they ever did, all right, it's the temperature. Stupidest thing they ever came up with. Because a lot of people don't understand, like, the batteries inside these boxes, they heat up. So the temperature goes up regardless. I've never seen the temperature ever go down. Even some of the haunted places I've been to, nothing. So that was just a stupid thing they came up with. And the AM and the FM off antenna and all that, well, just if you don't want the antenna, it should be an option to take the antenna completely out and leave it alone. Mm-hmm. Because I don't know a lot of people who actually use the antenna. I mean, some people do. But one plus sign, it's got a flashlight on it.
Yeah.
And it's got 2 speakers.
And the flashlight's red. Like on mine, it's red. Is yours red? Your flashlight on yours?
It's red. Yeah. Yeah. Wish it was blue.
Yeah. Or green.
I know, right?
Green makes everything brighter, I think. That's my favorite lens. My favorite lens. I don't know.
Southern accent.
Yeah, it comes out sometimes, especially because I'm originally from Arkansas and I've lived in Florida, I've lived in Washington State, Colorado for most of my life, and then the military, North Carolina, South Carolina, all over the place. But yeah, I was so bullied in Florida when I lived there because of my accent that I tried really hard to lose it, but sometimes it pops its little cute button nose out.
Right.
But I don't know. Go ahead.
I know. I did a whole review on YouTube. You can go check it out if you want. It's about like a 20-minute video. Because some of these videos on YouTube for, especially reviewing stuff, I wasn't trying to make review videos, but that's what it ended up being. Mm-hmm. But they turned out pretty good. But yeah, like, I don't know. People think I'm stupid sometimes, but I don't care.
I was so excited about getting the SB11 because I'd had this SB7 and it worked so good, and I'm like, the SB11, it's got to be like way better, but I don't think so. I think it's just got too many Zuzus and Wham Whams and things going on with it that it's just
if I'm at a bigger location, then I'll use it. I only like using it if I'm in the middle of nowhere, like out in the country somewhere. It's beneficial to me. But I don't know. It's really not that bad. It's okay.
You see the shows where they take the SB7 down into basements or underground or wherever where you don't get any radio and you still get voices going through that, and it really shows you that it does work. Right.
That's like where I was at today. I mean, I don't know if you saw the live I did today or not, but on my page. We were out in the country. I mean, bumpkin country. Like, there was no houses around. This church is in the middle of freaking nowhere. I mean, they'll tell you, nowhere. And I didn't get a whole lot, but I got a couple voices that did come through, and that was pretty cool. I mean, because there's no electricity or anything like that inside that church. There's nothing. The church wasn't made for electricity. I mean, it's just an old church. But I thought that was pretty cool. Back. Yeah. Oh, did you see the outhouse?
No, but that's how our church in
Oh, there was
Arkansas
one there.
was. They don't have common or
Hey,
anything. They got the outhouses in the back. And
dude, it was the first outhouse that had like a porcelain seat
oh wow,
that I've seen. Somebody, it's not original outhouse though. Someone like did that, you know,
yeah.
but it was still cool. And somebody says to me on Facebook today because I put my hand on the toilet and lift the lid up. I don't care. I took the camera to see if there was any poop or anything in it, you know, like I did for real, you know, like I'm curious, you know.
Wouldn't it have been
There's a bunch of
freaky
Coke
if you
cans.
like filmed down there and there's some crazy guy covered in turds getting high off it?
Yeah, big old hand come out. Yeah, that would be. Ugh.
That would have creeped me out.
I've
for
had some
sure.
weird stuff happen. Yeah, I've been creeped out. I'm easy to get scared. I ain't gonna lie. I've been creeped out several times. A lot of times. Like, I'll tell you something really crazy that happened to us. This lady, Denise, that's on my team, she's been investigating for like 20 some odd years. So we went to this house. It's down here in Mississippi. It's around the state line. They call it Horn Lake. And so we're in this house, man. These people saying they're seeing stuff in there and stuff. You're like, and I'm not getting a whole lot. And how do I explain it? Like, they have this one room in the very back, and there's a long hallway, and there's a wall. And then when you go around the wall, there's some stairs that go straight down. Well, the hallway is pretty long. And on the left side of the wall, there's no doors or anything like that. Man, so I'm grabbing my stuff, right? And I turn off my camera, and I look. I saw an apparition with my own eyes for the first time. And it was like solid white.
Wow.
Okay, but it had the body. It poked its head out and looked at me and just gone. Dude, that freaking freaked me out. Like the lights were on. Like the light in the bedroom was on. It was a little dim. Like a little lamp. Anyway, but there's no lights in the hallway, so that was freaky. I wish I had it on camera because that was like, I don't know. It scared me. Then I got to think, well, maybe my head's playing games with me. Because I tell everybody, sometimes when you go something, your head just play games with you. But yeah, that kind of freaked me out a little bit. But yeah, I wish I had it on camera.
I know, it's like the best evidence I've ever seen. I've never caught on camera. And even when I saw this orb in my backyard, and it was huge. I think it was an alien orb. But I'm trying to get my camera phone to work. I just can't get it to work because I'm just freaking out. And so I run over to the door and I call my family over because second best thing, have witnesses. Otherwise, everybody's going to think you're crazy, you're making it up, or, maybe you're depressed. Because I just had my son. He was only 2 months old at this point. And it was during winter, but yeah. Had the kids and my husband run over, and they were able to see it with me. But the best stuff I haven't caught on camera. I've got tons of really good pictures and video and stuff, but the best things I've ever seen have not been captured on camera. It's so hard. It's kind of like a panic thing. Like you're so excited, you're just trying to get it to go, and you can't get it to go. And
I'll tell you something. If you ever have time, go to our YouTube page. There's an investigation called the Maley Manor. It's a 45-minute video, so it gives you the tour of the guy. The woman who owned it, her boyfriend gave us the tour and gave us all the history of this location. And anyway, towards the end of the video, two of my investigators were down in the basement. Now, down in the basement was a poker room. So in the poker room, according to the stories, the old men that hanged out at the funeral home, which was called Maley Manor, they played poker in the basement because it's illegal to gamble in the state of Tennessee at that time. So the original poker table was still down there. Okay. Well, anyway, they're doing their little investigation at the poker table. One's on one end, one's on the other, and they're filming at the table. K2 meters going off when they ask questions and whatnot. And all of a sudden, in the dark, you hear cling, 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 cling. And they're like, Denise tells Mitzi, "Did you do that?" "No." And so they're trying to figure it out, and they're like, hell, that was a poker chip. Well, they went to go investigate it. There was a poker chip laying on the floor up against the wall. We didn't see the poker chip flying, but you could hear it through the video. In the video, you could hear it hitting the wall and landing on the floor. Now that was pretty wild.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That was cool. They were blowing me up while we're trying to investigate on the third floor. Just blowing me up about it. Like, hey, we're all okay. I'll be down there.
Hurry up!
But yeah, that was pretty cool. That place, man. It's a shame now. We were actually the last paranormal group to investigate that location. They won't let no one else ever investigate it again.
And what
they
was
sold
this
the
place
house,
again?
and it's called Maley Manor.
Okay.
The place it's so active. Like, it used to be a funeral home. It was a funeral home, and then in the 70s it was a restaurant, and then it was a bed and breakfast, and then it was someone's house, and then someone made it in it where they do tours. So they had a group in Memphis. They were doing tours out there. But this place is so crazy. Like, it's in the video, but in one of the rooms upstairs, they have this big blood stain on the floor. Now, here's what's crazy about it. They drained the bodies downstairs. Okay? Originally, the bodies were drained. Their blood were drained downstairs. And then once the blood was drained, they were brought up to the second floor, because on the second floor, they have the natural light of the old funeral homes, because they didn't have lights, So it's kind of hard to explain it, like a sunroom, okay, up on the roof.
Yeah.
So at a certain time of the day, the sun would bang down on there, and they could put the makeup on the dead. So that's what they would do. And they did embalming or whatever they had to do right there, It was all done in that big hallway, and then they would bring the bodies, like, to these little rooms they had. Like, they had a bunch of different rooms downstairs, and upstairs, all these little rooms, like viewing and stuff like that, But anyway, in this far corner, they didn't keep no bodies there, supposedly. It's where the Maley Manor himself, or Maley was his last name, that was his place where he resided at. But there was a big blood stain. Like, in this carpet, you can see it's a humongous stain. And story is that the two old men back in the 80s, they had been like, some will say they were even 80, But they knew what happened, and they said they knew what happened up there, but they never told a soul. And they took it to their grave. Is that not crazy? Like, man.
Well, yeah, and some stuff
wow.
you shouldn't take with you. You should let that stuff go and not take it with you. I wonder if...
But no one knows.
Because like you were saying, they didn't have bodies up there. They didn't bleed them up there. They do all that stuff downstairs, and they take them upstairs
all that
to do
downstairs.
their makeup. So maybe
right.
It was like a haunting. You know how sometimes you'll get ectoplasm or blood or whatever show up in a random spot where nothing ever really happened, because perhaps they're trying to haunt this guy for maybe something he did that wasn't quite right. I don't know.
Oh, no. But it's just crazy. It's such a big... It's not like a little drip, like if they were dripping blood. When I'm talking about blood, I'm talking about it covered the whole area. It's just crazy. Like, they just had bodies just draining there, It's just weird. But that place was active. But now they have a guy who bought it, that he's turning into a gallery. He don't want nobody investigating it. So it's like, oh my God, really?
Well,
that place is so active.
He'll have it for so long, and then he'll probably move on, and then somebody else will come in that wants it, and maybe they'll open it back up.
He's been there 4 months. Or 5 months now, something like that.
Are you guys placing bets yet?
Man, I know me and the other team here, yeah, we've been talking about it back and forth. We both want in there. I told him if I get in there first, I ain't letting them in. Don't worry, I got my eye on that place. But yeah, that place is just freaking haunted. I mean, I've been to some cool places, like Waverly Hills and Hills Bar Dam, and I'm gonna tell you right now, this place, it's let's put it like this. There's a lot of haunted locations in the United States. I haven't been to one where I ask a question, I say, hey, can you light it up to the red? Boom, right then. Can you light it up to the green? Boom, right then. That's how intelligent it was there. And it was more than one. But a lot of spirits. I mean, you're talking about hundreds of bodies going through there. Thousands. But that place, man, holy hell. Anybody that's been there, they'll tell you. Right on the dime. There's the videos on YouTube, and you can see it. The REM pod just boom, 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 and it's going off like crazy. Change the batteries, put new batteries in, boom, boom, boom. I'm like, God dog it. It's just wild. It's just wild.
I know I got wise to the whole battery drainage thing, and I've purchased, since I got my stimulus check, a bunch of rechargeable batteries and chargers.
That's what I need.
Yeah, because holy shnikes, you can go through batteries, and those are so expensive. So I'm thinking rechargeable batteries might be best.
Do what I do. Hit up the Dollar Tree.
Yeah.
I love the Dollar Tree. We go to the Dollar Tree to buy those little balls and stuff and blow them up, balloons and stuff, and use it for investigations.
Like to see movement from static or whatnot?
Yeah. They had one that, like, if you touch it, it lit up. And the balloon, you blew up. Mm-hmm. There was a ball inside of it, and if it touched it, it would light it up. So those are pretty cool. You had to throw them away afterwards, but they were pretty cool, But and like those punching balls, remember those? Perfect. Cheap and easy.
What kind of experiences have you guys had with those?
We got some with movement, a couple places, and sometimes we don't get nothing with them. If you go to an area where there's there's a bunch of children that might have died or something, then you get the roll movement. Prime example, we did a place called Fernwood. It's called the Fernwood House down in Fernwood, Mississippi. And the first time I went there, I went with another group. They're no longer around now, but anyway, we had the ball just rolling down the hallway. No draft, no wind, middle of summertime, hotter than hell. And then we took it upstairs. Same thing upstairs. Rolled on down the hallway. But that place has been way over investigated. Too many investigators been in there.
So do you think with so many investigators and teams and stuff going in there that it pollutes the atmosphere?
Yeah. I don't know. It's like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I think if a team goes in, like multiple teams are going in the same place, I just think that everything's just going to die down and spirits are just going to go elsewhere. I don't think they want to be bothered with. But until they find out that we're talking to them, if you get like 4 teams in a month to go in there, spend 2 or 3 days, or how many days they want to investigate, I think they're just going to move on down the road. I don't think they're going to feel comfortable. But at Fernwood, it's free to investigate. It don't cost nothing to investigate there. All they ask is, you just leave the place like it was when you came in, which that's pretty cool. Sometimes you get stuff. Sometimes you don't get nothing. Like this last time I went, it was one of my investigators, it was his birthday, so we decided to go to New Orleans. So we're only an hour and a half from New Orleans, So we left Memphis on Friday, investigated Friday night, Saturday morning, went down New Orleans, came on back that afternoon, late afternoon, ate supper and investigated again, and go home like the following morning. But like this last time we went there, man, we wouldn't get nothing. I mean, nothing. Like I was like, what the hell? So after I talked to the owners and stuff, I told them, look, I ain't getting nothing. Like this one team said that there was a portal in this mirror, and I'm like, okay, you know, they sent me a message and told me. I'm like, all right, okay. So I did a couple things around there.
Nothing.
Nothing.
We went this
So,
last
I don't know if
year.
it was a portal or not.
Yeah, it's so weird. I saw a thing on TV with a portal where they actually caught something with a Kinect camera. But we went to New Orleans this year, and I don't know if you've read the book Abducted in the French Quarter, but we went down there for that, and there was a team from Mississippi that went, and me and my sister from Arkansas. I flew into Arkansas and we went. But it was weird. The energy and everything was just so different than it would generally be.
Right.
It just seems like it's quieted down so much. I don't know what the deal is. Maybe it's the quiet before the storm or whatnot. But yeah, I didn't even get to go to the cemeteries. That was my number one thing I wanted to do.
You know, they charge you to do that now, right? You have to pay to go in there.
Yeah, I heard if you go on a tour, you have to. But I've seen people go in there like Frank from Franco TV and stuff like that without paying because he didn't want to
I
go
don't know how the hell he's doing it, because when I went down there, where the French Quarter, well, by the interstate, where it at. I can't tell you the name of the road again, but the entrance for them is like they're all locked up. Like you can't get in there. Like, and this was like, where did we go? I want to say March. Was it March? Yeah, March. We went there. Yeah, the end of March. And what's so funny is this. When the coronavirus came out is when we were down there. Everybody was freaking out that we were going to get the corona, but okay.
Well, yeah, right after Mardi Gras and stuff is when it all popped up.
Right.
A lot of people did get sick, so
so the week after Mardi Gras is when we were down there.
Oh my goodness. You guys are all tempting fate.
So.
Bring it on, fate.
No one really knew if it was going to be that bad, you know. But,
yeah.
We joke about it now.
Yeah, you guys are lucky. But you had to pay to get in. I know they have 3 big cemeteries, and one is where I can't remember her name right now. It's not Laveau, right? Marie Laveau. Is it Marie Laveau?
Mm-hmm.
The voodoo queen, and then her kids did it.
Oh, yeah.
I know she's in one, but there's like 2 others that are quite historic as well, and they're in different areas. So I wonder if they're charging for just this one that you're talking about, or if they're all like that.
I don't know.
Maybe you can like trick them by bringing flowers or something, pretend like you got a family member or something in there.
Could. But I'll tell you what, they had that one shop down there in the French Quarter. It was a vampire shop. It was pretty cool. I got to go inside a coffin and take a picture of myself. That was pretty neat.
Yeah.
Lady in there was weird, but
was that,
she gave me a card.
Bloody Mary?
Yeah.
It was?
Yeah. Dude, that place was cool inside there, man. I loved it in there. I was like, can I go in your coffin? They're like, yeah. I'm like, but there's no door. She goes, oh, you don't need no door. But anyway, she tried to invite me to like this vampire rave party or something that they were having that night. I'm like, I think I'm good. We all had Memphis Ghost Hunter shirts on, you know. They're like, oh, y'all are ghost hunters from Memphis? I'm like, yeah. So we're just here to visit, and we got an investigation in Mississippi, and they're like, oh, yeah, well, y'all come tonight. There'll be lots of ghosts and spirits and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, y'all drinking blood and shit. I'm out.
Y'all trying to make me bait. I ain't bait.
Not on my neck. But it was really fun, though. But I just wish that Fernwood was more haunted, you know. But it's like, how can I say this? I think a lot of places people say that's haunted. They're really not. You
It's
know,
just like
I think you,
lore.
yeah, it's just, I don't know. There's just one group I know of, and they go to these locations. Actually, there's two of them. Their big buddy buddy system or whatever they want to be. Their quote unquote para unity. Um, don't get me started on that one.
You want to talk about it? Like here we go.
All right, I just don't think para unity really exists.
I think it should. I think it's just like churches. If we all just work together, we'd all
I
be better off. But you know what? Everybody's got their humanity and egos and whatever going on. And
right.
we're over here like,
So you have to be better than this person. That person has to be better than that, and then you could be this great best friend team, and everything's going great, and then one person can fuck it up for everybody. You know, so it's like whatever, dude. Anyway, I have a problem with it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I team up with other teams in the area, but if I don't need them, I ain't gonna call them. You know what I mean? But I don't know. It's just damn. I lost track of what I was gonna say too. God dog it.
oh, you're talking about that vampire place and being in the coffin. Bloody Mary. We tried to get in to see her because Caden Mask and Alyssa Mask, they have a group. Oh, man. Southern Ascension Paranormal. They're from Mississippi, and we all met up down there.
I know.
Yeah, they're awesome, and I haven't heard from them for a while. I actually saw Alyssa on Facebook today. I really miss those guys. Such good people. But yeah, it was good to meet them in New Orleans, and it's the first time I've ever gone. I've always wanted to go to Mardi Gras and do all these different things, but it was just amazing. I did a Facebook Live the whole time. I had my backup batteries for my phone because it dies so fast, and just the different structures and architecture and stuff. And we passed by a few places where you just pick up on stuff, but it's not open for investigation. But yeah,
Right.
the energy is just so different than what I've always heard of it to be. And even the locals were saying like a lot of stuff has changed since Katrina, and it was really wild and crazy for a while. Then it got really, really quiet. So I'm just wondering if there's something really big about to happen. If so, I hope I don't miss
Oh
it.
no.
So how was
Oh
your...
no. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I've been asking everybody this because my Halloween this year was super crazy. What was your Halloween like?
My Halloween as a ghost hunter.
Yeah, like did you have any like crazy paranormal experiences or more than usual?
Um, mine this year was a little different. So we did a paranormal expo the week of Halloween. So that was when there was a couple paranormal groups around the area came up together, and we showed evidence. I had discussion tables. It's like a little mini Paracon. So that's what I really did. I didn't really. I refused to investigate on Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only reason why I don't is because it's for the dead, and I'm already bothering them the rest of the year. So it's like a little break.
Yeah.
And plus, I have a little one too, so I just don't investigate. That's her day. Let her have her fun, and I don't even talk about paranormal stuff on that day. I just leave it alone. That's just me, though. I know a lot of people are like really into going and investigating and stuff like that, but it's just a
Yeah.
day that I leave it alone.
I'm like you. Generally, I'm with my kids, and that's what we do. We dress up. Even I dress up. I dress up every year because I refuse to grow up. But this year, being that I went to Arkansas, I was trying to come back on Halloween, but I actually lost my driver's license in New Orleans. So it was difficult for me to fly back home, and I ended up being there for Halloween, and it was midnight. Like, it had just turned Halloween. I had brought all my paranormal equipment. We didn't use anything, so I'm like, sis, why don't we break this out and use it? So I broke out the FLIR camera and the night vision, and we started with that, and my mind was blown out of everything in my life, all in one night. Like, I had at least 10 15 spirits that I saw that evening. And they were just like
Yeah.
humans, like living human beings standing out there. Like, that's how real they looked. But the first I saw a little Native American girl, then I saw a little hillbilly white boy, then I saw, I think, probably his dad, maybe his uncle. And then I look over here and there's a troop, but it's only a partial troop. There was only like 3 or 4 soldiers, and they had their flag and shit. And then there were so many spirits. In my sister's house, there was 2 baby twins and the guy that I call the tall man, who stayed in that room until the night before I left. He came out and tried to scare the bejesus out of me. But I just could not believe how many spirits I saw that night. I was just so blown away how many all at once that I saw. It was just mind-blowing and really epic to me.
I mean, I've investigated before on Halloween, before we had a baby, but it gets pretty intense.
Yeah, it's the first time I think I've ever done it, except for, as a kid, we'd play around with stuff like Bloody Mary or whatever as a kid, but that's the first time I ever broke out the equipment and did anything on Halloween, and I was blown away.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. Lots of fun.
My favorite part is dressing up and
the dressing up part.
Yeah.
I haven't dressed up for Halloween since I was like 15, 14.
Really?
Yeah, really.
I'm 41 now, and I can't think of a year that I didn't dress up.
I'm 43 and I don't do it. I'm good.
You're good?
Now, when it comes to the candy, I'll do a little inspection and a little taste here and there,
These are bad, okay? Gotta throw these out.
I think they stuck a needle in this one here.
Daddy, this is my candy. That's my Butterfinger.
Not no more.
Not no more.
That's the whole point of having kids. They do all the work for you. So I don't have to dress up.
Yeah, I've stood there and I've actually had people be like, hey, you dressed up, come get some candy. And other people are like, you're too old for this. Why are you dressed up? I'm not too old for dressing up for Halloween.
Right.
If you look back at the historical perspective of it, like, everybody dressed up. It was a way of fooling the spirits and whatnot, witches and ghouls and goblins, whatever. It's fun. It's all in fun, and it's all in trying to stay young, trying to fight the clock. I refuse to get old.
I know that feeling. I feel old sometimes, but it's all right. It happens.
So since this whole COVID thing has broke out, have you had any crazy dreams?
No crazy dreams yet.
Sleep schedule
Have you?
change?
Oh, yeah. I sleep in earlier now since I've been furloughed from work. You know.
Might as well take advantage of it.
Stay up all night playing video games. Or going through reviewing of evidence.
Yeah, I was staying up all night watching, until at least
Lots
3, watching Travel Channel. Yeah, and then my mom quit doing DirecTV, I just found out today. And so YouTube is what I watch. So I'll definitely be checking out all of your guys' videos because there's so much paranormal stuff out there.
Yeah, we got a lot, like, video-wise, We're not real big on YouTube yet, but it's growing.
You do it mostly
slow.
on Facebook, though?
Yeah. I mean, I upload all our videos on YouTube. That's when we started, like, a year ago? A little bit over a year ago? And so I was like, maybe we could reach out, more people that way. And I think we got like 180-something subscribers. I mean, it's not a whole lot, but...
It's hard. I've been doing
it's very hard.
for a little over a year now, and I finally got... I was up to 1,000, then I looked again, and I'm back down again. But on YouTube, you can't do YouTube Live on your cell phone until you have over 1,000. I just barely got over 100, so I have my own We Are Paradox Media at the end. But, geez, Pete, it's so, like, all these restrictions and guidelines they have. Like, just let everybody do it on their cell phone. And there's even things out there, I guess, where you can do it live from your cell phone through, like, an encoder or whatever. But those things are complicated as well. I don't know. I think they're
I don't do nothing through my cell phone unless I go live at an investigation. I got pretty nuts little setup here, I got two 2 monitors, and I got another TV behind me for reviewing, and some spotlights, mic, green screen, laptop over here, computer here.
How do you guys always have outlets to power that stuff, or do you bring generators?
If I don't have a place for a power source, I just do not bring it. Just being honest with you. If I'm at an investigation, like my phone, I use my phone for my life. He's had an investigation. It's just too much pain in the butt because, like, actually, all my investigations, I use my phone. Just to do the Facebook Lives. People like seeing where you're at and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. I'd probably go, like, maybe if I'm on an investigation, I'd probably go live twice.
Really?
30 minutes here, an hour here. I got to investigate. I don't have time to talk to everybody.
Yeah.
I know that sounds mean, but
well, it's true. Where are you going to concentrate, on this video or on this? So that's when you need, like, a Julio or somebody to come in and be your cell phone person. But yeah.
So I basically do like a walkthrough, and then they see that the rally where I'm at, and then a few hours later I'll come back on and just usually like spirit box session is what I do because people like that kind of stuff. So
yeah.
I don't use the flashlight. I'm not famous for that.
Oh, for like turning on and off. Yeah, I haven't done that either.
Yeah, it's not my cup of tea.
No.
So I don't do that kind of stuff. I've been really picky about the Connect. Like, I have a Connect, and I've noticed some things with it that really had me thinking. So I'm being very cautious on that now.
Yeah.
Because especially on the stick figures. So, but we have one, and we use it quite often. I got different stuff that I use. So.
Well, on that note, I want to go to our first musical break. And on this break, we have Gravity from Krakow, Poland with My Last Goodbye. We have Prime Example with Miss Carolyn Giles from Milwaukee, Wisconsin with Dancing Machine. And then my fave, Mr. Fred Johnson III with Sugar from Canyon County, California. You guys don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this musical break.
lover, can we be friends? I can't let this night just end. I really wanna know if I can see you again. Give me your number, we'll get back on the scene. We can hit another club if that's your thing. We'll be partners in crime, you and me, as we ripping up floors like two dancing machines.
Waiting here on this cold, lonely night without you. The tension's overbearing. Wondering, are you coming back home again? To inspire fondness with love. Where did our love go wrong? Melts away. Please look into my eyes, my sugar. There's life in out there. Until the sun doesn't shine anymore, I'll be there. When time is a memory, I'll know this love. You will always be the one, my sugar. The feeling is so strong. Waiting here on this cold, lonely night without you. Where did our love go wrong, my sugar?
Welcome back, and thanks so much for hanging out with us tonight on We Are Paradox Media's Late Night in the Rockies. Tonight we have Mr. Jack Brewer from Memphis Ghost Hunters. Welcome back, Jack.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You ready to go to Graceland?
Yeah, that's one of my questions. Have you guys considered going there and seeing what you pick up?
All right, so
You have gone there?
all right, so this is what we did. This is so embarrassing. We sent an email to Graceland about doing an investigation and actually willing to pay, to do an investigation. They didn't tell us no, and they didn't tell us yes.
Bastards.
I know. That was like last year, and they told us to contact them in another year. So, the year's almost up. So, I don't know.
If you guys get in, that would be awesome. And especially with the numbers you have, dude, like, that should speak for itself. Just be like, we got this many followers. Like, imagine how many people will come here. Because not everybody are Elvis fans. Like, I must admit, he was my first crush, even though he was a dead guy. But, I mean, there's people that would be willing to go there just to do some ghost hunting or whatever.
Now, I did investigate where he was first buried.
First buried? He's been buried multiple times? Right.
So, it's, dang it. I can't think of the name of the cemetery now. Hang on, I can look it up real quick. Anyway, he has a tomb. It's by Elmwood. Hang on a second. See if I can Google it real quick and tell you the name of it.
Oh, no worries. Man, I don't know. I would pay for that, like, just going in there for checking out his jacket and his records in the house or whatnot. That'd be cool, but it is a lot of money. If there were ghost hunting involved, I think I'd be more willing to pay.
So, what was the name of that place? I can't think of the name of it now. Dang it.
And I'm no help at all. I'm terrible.
Denise must be watching. My investigator. It was Forest Hill.
Okay.
All right. So there's a video of me and Caden investigating it. And it's on YouTube and it's on my page. Believe it or not, we got a couple of voices in there. Nice. But there's several bodies. It's one of the cryptones, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, but we got pictures of us where his little tomb was at, and people like put coins in there, and they throw flowers in there. It's pretty cool.
Offerings.
Not a lot of people really. I don't think a lot of people even know about it. To be honest with you.
So that's where it is now, or that's where he was first buried?
That's where he was first buried at, but people was trying to dig up his grave, I guess you could say, trying to rob him.
Yeah.
And they moved the body to Graceland. Actually, his mother was buried there too, in that same graveyard, and they moved her body too.
That's awesome. I'm glad they did that.
Yeah.
Because they were so close.
Right.
I wonder if Elvis ever had any paranormal experiences with his twin brother. That's what I wonder.
You know, us down here, we got theories about that whole situation.
Yeah?
Want to hear it?
Yes, I do.
All right.
To be honest with you.
here's a little story. My grandfather worked at Sun Records back in the 50s. He was in charge of all the accounting and signing checks and all that good old stuff. Okay? Well, they used to talk about rumors down there. And supposedly Elvis would say, yeah, my brother's still alive. I know he is, blah, 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 blah. But that was just a rumor. Okay? So, but reality, we all know that the twin had died in birth, right? So, my grandfather's theory, and a lot of people here in Memphis, this is what they think. So when Elvis died, there were several sightings of Elvis, and there's been some documentations that's been pretty darn close. I'm not gonna say they're correct, but it's been pretty close, you know. And so everybody knows at the time in the 70s, Elvis was just burnt out.
Mm-hmm.
He was tired because people wanted him to perform. You got to remember, he was going back and forth to Vegas, from Memphis to Vegas every dang week just to perform. So some say here that the twin brother found out who his real brother was. And there was a tussle in the bathroom. And Elvis killed his brother. That's what some say.
I just had a realization.
But you never know.
So you've seen pictures of Elvis, and it looks just like Elvis, but you know it's not Elvis. Could that actually be his twin, who didn't really die but was adopted because his mom couldn't handle two kids?
Could be. Well, you got to think about back in them days, at the time that Elvis was born, what was it, like the 30s or something like that, I think? Or 40s?
I think, yeah, 40s.
No,
I'm
nobody
not sure.
had to. It was hard to feed. You know, if you were married and had two kids, that was hard enough to feed your family. So I'm kind of wondering, you got to look at like where Elvis's family was from, down there in Tupelo. I mean, it was a poor country. Majority of it was blacks anyway. And nobody had money, you know. And if you needed to work, you moved to Memphis. I mean, or down in Jackson or whatever, you know. So I think that they probably just took that kid and put him in an orphan, you know, in an orphanage, you know, because they couldn't afford to feed him.
Yeah. And that's
I mean,
what
it
they
makes
used to
good
do
sense to
instead of
me.
going to social services. It was orphanages back in the day.
Right. Correct. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say, really. I don't know.
It's very interesting.
Only they know. Only they know. I mean, hell, I could be wrong, but, you know, it sounds good to me.
And that's a wrap. No.
Sounds good to me.
I don't know. My curiosity is reawakened because I never thought of that. You know, you always think Elvis's brother died at birth and you know, there was only Elvis. And everybody's like, could you imagine if there was two Elvises? But perhaps there is. And like you said, he went to an orphanage and was not a part of the family. And he even said himself, he knows he's still alive. Twins know that sort of stuff. They have that connection.
You're right.
Oh my
Never
gourd.
know.
Oh my gourd. My head's gonna explode. That's amazing. So what were the voices that you got? Like, could you tell what they said or what they sounded like at Graceland?
We're at.
Didn't you say at Graceland?
Oh, I didn't investigate. I didn't get to investigate it.
Oh, it was the tomb.
Oh, you're talking about the tomb.
Mm-hmm.
I got a female voice while I was there. I didn't get no male voice.
His mama.
But yeah, it was clear as day.
What'd
Hard
she
to say. I
say?
didn't get no name. I got like a couple of hellos. I always
That's
get
cool.
like hello and hi, you know, or help. Nothing, no names or anything, you know, which sucks, but it's part of it.
Well, yeah, and
And
it's
sometimes
so
I ever wonder.
hard. Go ahead.
You ever wonder this? Like, what if the female was actually the male speaking to you, and the male voice was actually the female voice talking to you?
Well, what's odd to me is I'll get messages from my dad or other people or entities or whatever, but in my head it always comes through as my own voice. So the only way that I can tell the difference is the feeling that I get at that point, or you can just tell. Like, for me, I can tell that's not my thoughts, that's not the way I would say things, that's my dad, or
Right.
that's somebody else.
Yeah. I don't know. It just makes you think sometimes, you know?
It does make you think. Like, on the other side, I think people have certain spiritual awakenings over here, so it's easier for
Right.
them over there. Sometimes it takes them a while to learn, like, how to do certain things like talk or move things or appear or whatnot. My mentor, she was so spiritually inclined. The day that she died, she appeared in my house several times. And once to me, and when she did, it was in my bedroom, and I saw the light coming through my eyelids before I even saw her. And I sat up in bed and opened my eyes, and there she was, wearing this dress, even though we dressed her after she died in a white shirt and some capri shorts with bling blings on the butt. But she was wearing this long, like, really pretty, kind of medieval looking dress, and she had her hair back, and it was braided on this side. And you know those Catholic candles where they have those auras? Hers was kind of like that.
Yeah.
But it was like silver and white and aqua blue and blue inside of it. And it was just so beautiful. She was smiling, and I knew right away, like, she wasn't there for me. My daughter was there when she died too. I think she was there to check on my daughter. So I laid back down and went to sleep so she could do what she needed to do with my daughter. My daughter actually crawled in bed with us that night because she kept seeing her. But I had only seen her once that night. My daughter saw her 3 times. But it's amazing how they can do that, because there's certain knowledges and certain things as far as spirituality. So it's kind of like, I don't know. I could just imagine trying to learn all that stuff, even communicating.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like with electronic voice phenomena. A lot of times it sounds like a whisper. It's so quiet. Imagine screaming trying to get that message out, but it comes out as a whisper, you know? It's interesting.
Yeah, because, they would have to take a lot of energy just to speak, and people get frustrated, when they're trying to communicate, and you might get an answer, but then all of a sudden you don't get no more answers, because it's just, it just seems like it'd be too difficult. Because they would have to be screaming at you, I would think, I mean, using everything they got to speak. Mm-hmm. And then they might have a story or something, or have something they want to tell you, but now they can't. Till you wait till another time.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's what I think, But
have you guys ever done like daytime investigations? Everybody thinks that the nighttime is the right time, which in reality, it's funner because it's dark. Your senses are heightened. There's less noise or traffic out on the road. But I've had the best experience I've had as far as investigation during the day. What are your thoughts?
It works both for me. I've gotten stuff during the daytime and not get anything at night. And I've been to locations where I get stuff at night, but I'm not getting anything during the day. I mean, nighttime investigation to me is for your night vision camera, and that's about it. Because you're going to try to capture something in the dark when you can't see nothing in front of you, which is good, especially like on orbs and stuff like that. Don't get me started on that one.
Could be dust. Could be an entity. I don't know. Well, when you see the faces of the orb, like that's kind of different. But yeah, you can
I've actually seen some photos like that.
Yeah,
and that's pretty interesting. But I think a lot of people are just for the pretty lights, and that's why they do it at night. You have like REM pods. Like I have static pods that I bought from a guy off of Facebook that he makes, and they're really cool.
Are they affordable?
So, oh yeah, look, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's called Paratronics.
Paratronics. Okay.
Yeah, it's called Paratronics.
Where's
They're
my
based out in
Pilot?
Illinois. Hey, look, and I'm telling you right now, he makes legit stuff. It's PARATRONICS.
.com or Facebook?
He's on Facebook.
Okay.
And it's cheap. And he's cheap. And he builds them all himself, like this thing right here. Here, where's my camera? I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah.
That's just one of the static pods. But they light up blue.
Sweet.
But anyway.
That's my favorite color.
Yeah, this one, they work. I don't know. I tried it out, when I first saw the guy, 'cause I was like, man, this is cheap stuff. And he builds them all himself. And like this little static pod, $40.
Nice. Yeah, I think
You
that's
can get
what
it.
mine costs too. I have one of those static pods with the antenna on it, which is funny because you're not getting a radio signal, but it picks up on the electricity. So I think that's a lot of what the SB7 and SB11 are doing too. It's not just really the stereo connection coming through, but the energy that comes through the little metal
Yeah.
piece sticking out.
So you know what a REM pod is, right?
Yes.
Wait, I have a REM pod, and I have this. This is made by Paratronics. It's the same thing. It's got detachable antenna, and you can plug it right back in, and you just raise it up. It's a long antenna, but it'll light up just like the REM pod. It does the same thing. Yeah. These, I think he was selling them for like, dang it. I got a deal on this one because it was
Can
used.
you put it
but,
kind of in front of you? Because I can't see it over here. I'm in the way. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Well, I got that little thing on. I should probably take it off. But anyway, it's got little lights on top of it. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, I can
There
see
you go.
it.
You can see my green screen.
So will it show, like, by the lights which direction it's coming from? Because I do have a Periscope 360 that has the things around it.
Yeah,
When I took my flight
they
to
don't-
Arkansas, they broke off a lot of them, but it shows which direction they're moving.
It don't do that. It just does your regular REM pod. But I have one of the original Periscopes over here. I prefer that than the 360. I'm sorry.
Well, it's just so interesting because we actually set it up in a house that's like maybe 2 blocks away from here. And I've always wanted to live in this house. It's old style and it's got the old ball lights in the yard and stuff.
Right.
We actually got called there for an investigation and we set up our EMF antenna. And then we set up our 360 and it showed which side it was going. But it came past the antenna and then it went around the 360 and then it went back and set off the antenna again. So it was just awesome to see the direction it was moving and stuff. And I think they all work the same as far as picking up the energy. But
Right.
this one just shows which direction.
Did you get yours through Paranologies?
No, I got mine through Ghost Hunter Store, I think it was.
Oh, Ghost Stop?
Ghost Stop, yes.
Yeah, so here's mine. See if
Oh
I can
yeah,
put it
yours
up
looks
there.
different than mine.
Yeah. So the guy who actually makes it, he made this one. I went straight to the source.
Yeah, mine has the
I like 'em.
little pod on the bottom, and then it goes up and it has the round
Right.
thing on the top with all the nodules going 360 degrees. So mine's a little different than yours. But yeah, I was so disappointed in the airlines for breaking my shit. They broke all the little nodules off there, so I have to reattach them. Caden said he knew how to do it, but we left before he could fix it. So I think I'm just going to
Super
glue
glue.
them back on. Yeah, I'm just going to glue them back on and call it good because I've waited too long to complain to the airlines to get another one. But yeah, they are amazing how they work. And
Yeah, they're really good.
yeah, like the K2, it helps you to detect when there's different energy around, and then filming it and just documenting it in different ways is awesome. Have you ever used dowsing rods?
Well, yeah. I don't know if you want me to go there, but
Feel free if you.
I'm not a big fan. I don't see that as paranormal. And I understand the reason why they were made in the beginning.
Yeah,
To find water.
Yeah.
And it's been proven that it does find water. But I'm not, how can I say it? I'm not convinced on the paranormal side of it yet.
I am.
Because I've heard people say that, how they say it, your yes and no questions is the direction that you want it to go.
This for me is
Right?
yes, and this for me is no. Crossed is yes,
Okay, yeah.
open is no. And I've seen people do yes is open and X is no, but that's not what I was taught.
So
I'm just
here's the problem with that, I think. Okay. Like I just said, we know that they can find water, right? And let's say you're in a building, okay? Let's
Yes.
say you're just investigating a house or whatever, and you want to get yes and no questions. Okay, well, maybe it's picking up the water through a pipe underneath you. I'm just saying. I'm trying to make sure I'm saying this right.
No, I get what
So,
you're saying.
yeah, so, like, you don't really know. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I'm
Yeah.
not convinced yet. And even if you're outside with it, you don't know if there's maybe running water below you or an underground well or a stream or some sort. I mean, you just don't know. I'm
Well,
just not
okay.
convinced yet.
So, as far as dowsing, when I was little and my mom was killed by a drunk driver, my dad sent us for a visit and then never came back.
Right.
My granny taught us not only how to kill chickens, but how to use dowsing, and not through the rods, but a hickory stick or an apple stick or whatever. You can use one with a Y in it and use that, and once it starts going boing, like that's where your water is. So I learned that way.
Right.
When I first used the copper dowsing rods is when I went to Las Vegas. I went on a ghost hunt with my oldest daughter, and that was the first time I ever used them, and it was amazing. The first time I used it was at the street corner where this girl had gotten hit by a carriage, and it just felt so heavy. Like, the more I used it, the heavier it felt, and I started shaking because I'm trying to support this weight, but she's making them go off at first, and then she's
Right.
answering questions and stuff, and we used it throughout the night, and then at the end, they ask you if you'd like to purchase them. They're only $5 each because they're basically coat hangers with plastic handles on them, but they work so good. That was my very first tool that I bought for my group, was the dowsing rods, and on the way home, we stopped in Kingman, Arizona, stayed the night. We had so many experiences in that room communicating with a lady that was killed there. Not a good story. Next day, we went to breakfast at another hotel. They had a restaurant out in front, and we all finished early. So the kids are like, "Hey, Mom, can we go out and use the dowsing rods?" And so I'm like, "Okay, you have to wait for me." So we went out, broke out the dowsing rods, and we start communicating. A lot of people do just the yes or no answers, but you can do the clanking for letters, numbers, whatever. So you can communicate that way. It just takes a lot of patience and a lot more time. We picked up on a little boy named Billy, and he led us from our bus that we were driving, to the pool area, which was fenced off. You can't get in, it's locked, and according to him, his mom was into drugs, the kids were running about, his sister, she was only like 3 years old, fell in the pool. He jumped in to save her, even though he didn't know how to swim. He just knew that he had to try to save her.
Right.
So they both drowned. And so we got this whole story only using dowsing rods. One of the pictures we took, my daughter, and I'll send you several pictures after this of different things I've captured, but you
Okay.
can see her dress pulling to the side, like it goes down and then it pulls out to the side, like a little 3-year-old's holding on to it. You know what I mean? And
Really?
this is one of the things I regretted, is not going through all the don't do this and blah, 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 because my nephew was like, "Hey, Billy, you want to come home with us?" And I was like, "Joe, no, you never ask anything to come home with you. You tell it that it has to stay here and it can't follow you." And I think he did follow him home, and I think he's been around since then. But yeah, it was so interesting to find that. We looked up the history trying to find drownings, but there's so many places that hide those sorts of stories because they don't want the bad reputation.
Right.
So yeah, that was so interesting. And that was with dowsing rods. They're my favorite tool, probably because I learned really early and I have the ability to do it. But I've seen other people using it, and it's just like, you can see them moving their hands and stuff, and you don't do that. You have to hold perfectly still, your elbows tucked in, hands here, and let it do its thing. Sometimes it'll whirl around and stuff, and then it'll answer questions. But like you said, it's still theoretical. Like, certain people have certain experiences and others don't. Like, can you tell, is
Right.
it because of waterways, or is it something paranormal? It's really hard to say.
I know. That's why I'm just not convinced yet. I'm sorry. I'm just not really convinced yet.
Yeah, I have so many tools.
But they
with
are
that.
they
Those
are
my favorite.
They are the cheapest tool out there if you want to buy them. I mean, they're like $9. I mean,
Yeah, I got mine for $5, and then when I was working security, where they're building these apartments, I got some really nice gauged copper wire from there, and they're perfect snippets, like perfect size for 2 rods. I'm like, score.
I think the reason why that people use them for paranormal because copper is a natural conductor.
Yeah.
And like even Steve Huff with his portals that he built, and that's why he uses the copper and the crystals and all that because it's a natural conductor and it's easier. They say it's easier for spirits to communicate, but I don't know. We're going to find out though.
I've heard people also ask the question: is this actually the spirit manipulating the rods, or is this actually the spirit sending like pings or triggers or whatever through your nervous system or whatever to make these certain things happen? I think, like you said, it's very conductive. Like, how easy would it be to sit here and do this with copper wires that's very conductive to energy?
Right. I mean, I've held the dowsing rods before, and it seems like even when you're holding them, you can make it turn yourself if you really wanted to. Right or wrong?
You can make it what?
You can actually make it turn itself if you wanted to, but it's hard to control.
Yeah, I think if you focus and stuff using...
Yeah. So,
basis.
I don't know. But they say same stuff like that, like Hack Shack radios and stuff like that. It's all BS, and it's just a broken radio, whatever.
I know, right? It's funny, too, because, like, people are, including me, like, I do not implore people to use Ouija boards, but people also say dowsing rods, K2s, all these other things are just like using a Ouija board because you're allowing a spirit to take control of it. I don't know.
You need to start watching my videos if you want to see some Ouija board action.
Oh, yeah? So you do use those? Like, my mentor, she used them like a cell phone. And she's like, I'm the
guy that says, hey, y'all 4 right there, get on the board. I'll film.
I know my mentor, she's like, hey, Tess, you want to come over? I'm going to be using the Ouija board. And I'm like, you guys can do it and I'll film. And yeah, I never went over because she didn't want me to film. She just wanted me to partake. And I was just like, I had my time. I'm good.
We did an experiment with one once, and I don't think we'll do that again.
Can you tell us about it?
It kept spelling out Zozo.
Yes, he pops up everywhere.
And what's crazy is if you look at the video that we have on YouTube, I made sure everyone's hands on the, what was it, pochetta or whatever, how you say it?
Planchette.
I don't know. Yeah, that thing.
That thing-a-jigger.
But if you look how their hands are, they're barely touching it, and it's moving. So there's close-up shots of it.
It's amazing.
Pretty neat.
I have to say, like, when I used it, the first time I used it, and I got on there, and I was like, can I talk to my mom? And it said no. It was very weak. But when I got on there the second time, I didn't even have to say hi or nothing. It just took off. I wasn't doing anything.
It didn't move real fast. But it was still pretty freaking intriguing to see. It was very intriguing.
Do they do the whole, like, circle thing to get the energy built up and stuff before they start, or do they just start?
No. See, the way that we read, how was it when we started it? I don't remember how we did it now. I have to go back and look at the video. But I forget how we started it. But I know when we trying to close it, it told us to count down from 0, 9. From what I read online. So we didn't have no experience with it. So I just went by what I read online. It said when you're done communicating, before you put your hand off, count from 0, 9, 8, so on, till you get to 1. And then you let go of it. I don't know if that's how you're supposed to do it or not, but that's what we read. So I guess it worked. I don't know.
I never read the instructions.
I don't know. It was a girl there that they played with the Ouija board, and they had some bad things happen. I can't remember exactly what all happened, and her daughter kind of wanted closure with it, And they had some activity there. But, some say it's just a board game. Some say it's just evil. Who knows? I don't know. It worked. That's all I can say. It worked.
What really bugs me is the way that they're like, oh, it's just a parlor game and it's made for kids this age and up. And I'm like, are you freaking serious? Like,
8 and up is what it says.
Yeah, kids should not be playing with. And it's funny because in a lot of churches, the age of 7 is the age of knowing what's right and wrong and being able to be baptized and such. So is this the age where you can be taken over or whatnot? And a lot of kids will get scared and they'll run away from it and they won't close out the session. So they'll just leave the gateway open. And they might not even close it until years later, if ever. Like, what is coming through there? Is that a new portal or vortex? I'm not sure. But
a lot of people don't even know how. Like, I don't really know how, but it was a pretty cool experience. So, but we vowed never to do it again. Literally, we said no more. We're not doing that again. Yeah. But then one of our investigators, actually, our film guy, he got kind of sick. And I got a video of when they first did it and they were getting all these answers and he wasn't feeling too hot, an orb shot out of him. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of cool. But we vowed not to do that again. I don't know how to say it really. I don't think it's something that someone should just play with. You know what I mean? And I really don't want to use it for investigations as of right now anyway. I just think that it could cause a lot of harm with a quickness.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. I enjoyed my second experience. I did 2 in one night. One was very brief. One was quite extended. The only scary part about mine is that my platoon mates were trying to get my attention. They were touching me, shaking me, hitting me, like, Tessa, Tessa, Tessa. I wasn't answering because I was so in tune to this board. And the one thing that really let me down about it is I was so excited to tell my dad the next day, and I told him what she had said, and he's like, well, this could be something else coming through, acting like it's your mom, but it's really not. But this thing knew so much information that I think it was my mom. I really do truly believe it was her, but there are spirits out there that will fool you to make you think you're something else. Like, I've heard of teenagers using it, and it pretends like it's a teenage boy, and that's your new boo or whatever. When in reality it's a nasty, ugly demon or succubus or whatever. Different bad things can happen. So I implore you guys for not using it anymore. But it is intriguing to check out different equipment, see what it does. But I'm glad you guys aren't using it anymore because it is very dangerous, I believe.
Well, the only reason why we did it is because the girl that lived there, the little girl. Mm-hmm. Well, she wasn't really little. I mean, she was a senior in high school. But I can't remember what all happened. Like, I think the doors were opening and slamming or something. And everybody could vouch for it that was there. And so this other girl freaked out and left. And they never closed the board, and they didn't really know how. And this stuff happened over and over again. So...
Did it start out with her, like she had used it, and that's why you guys used it again to see what exactly happened, or?
Right. We were just trying to see what, just to validate everything that was going on is all we were trying to do.
So do you think it was something connected to that board, or do you think it could have been poltergeist activity?
It couldn't have been from that board, because one of our teammates at the time had a board. So I don't think it was from the board. Well, yeah, I would think so. I don't know. It's really hard to tell, really. But it was active. I just recently checked on them too, like about right after Christmas, because I try to check back with everybody I do investigations for at a certain time. limit, I guess you could say, 6 months to a year, just to check on them. So they said everything was fine. So they didn't have no more activity.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. So
Did you
that's
guys do
cool.
any sort of cleansing or anything there to help them out, or?
No, I don't think there was even need to do it. Because I think I waited like a couple days after that, and I had called back up there, and they didn't have anything else going on. Because usually, I don't really mess around with cleansing. Because I really haven't had the need to do that yet. Well, on one occasion I did. But most of the time, when we're investigating, we'll just tell them, you can't follow us, leave these people alone, blah, blah, blah. And that happens. And you leave them alone, and you don't hear nothing else about it. But I've only had one incident where, actually, I had two. Let's take that back. I had this investigation, okay? And this lady was really going through a hard time. And whatever was there was really screwing with her head. And she called me there twice, and I went there twice, and I couldn't figure nothing out. Like, it was active, but she was just going crazy. But I know she wasn't crazy, So I had to figure something out. And I went and got some holy water. And I didn't do it, but my investigator, I use everybody for guinea pigs because I ain't doing shit. I mean, this is me. All right, so I told him, I said, hey, man, put a little bit of this on your hand, cross on her forehead. And all of a sudden, she goes, it's hot, it's hot, it's hot. Like, and you can see the mark of the cross on her forehead.
It was all red?
Yeah. So, I was like, holy crap, I've never experienced nothing like this in my entire life, And I'm thinking, what the hell do I do? I know if I call a priest, the priest ain't going to come. They're going to think I'm crazy. Because a lot of priests around here, you need to bring them some evidence before they do anything, And I'm like, oh my God. So I start saying stuff like what I saw on TV, hey, come out of her. What's your name? What are you doing in her? And then blah, 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 And dude, she was changing. I'm like
her face and everything?
Dude, she didn't look like herself. Mm-hmm. And man, anyway, I kept saying in the name of Jesus, come out. You don't belong in there. And then all of a sudden, she was fine. You can ask anybody. She didn't look like herself. She was normal. And then something bad happened to me after that. Something was attached to me, and I had to go get some help. So that part sucked, but it was pretty bad. Actually, there's a place called a broom closet. I don't know if you can see this or not.
Yeah, just hold it right in front of you. No, go back. There you go. Yes.
Dragon's blood, and it's got some inscriptions in it. There's I don't want to call her a witch, but it's kind of like witch stuff, I don't really know, kind of. It's kind of hard to explain.
Well, there's dark magic and white magic and stuff. Maybe she's Wiccan?
Yeah, she's Wiccan, but she practiced all these other different religions.
Yeah,
anyway.
pagan and so on and so forth. I have some members like that too.
Really, really cool lady. And she made me this candle and told me when I feel like that, just burn it. And anyway, they did, they had a crystal knife. Mm-hmm. There's a video on my page.
Did they do a cutting ceremony?
Right. And oh my God, I felt like a new man. She said I had so many spirits around me. I'm like, what do you mean so many? She goes, there's so many, I can't even count them.
You just gave me an idea. I think I need to get a hold of my friend Jamie and have her do that for me, because not only, I'm so tired all the time and fighting depression, so on and so forth. And no matter what I do, no matter what time I go to bed, I'm still so drained. And the last couple of weeks, I look in the mirror, which is right in front of me when I go to the bathroom or whatever, and I'm just like, that does not look like me. I look so tired and so drained, and I look like 20 years older to myself than I really feel.
Right.
So I think I should do that because I've had walk-ins, I've had possessions, and they don't happen all the time. It's been a handful of times, which is enough for me. Most are bad. One of them was kind of wonky. But yeah, that's a good idea. Thank you so much. I'm going to try that.
When I got home from that lady's house, I wasn't the same Jack, and I knew I wasn't. I knew something like overtook me because I was mad. I mean, I was pissed. I was like, I'm ready to fight anybody.
For no apparent reason.
And a friend of mine told me, just do a video, sit in the dark, and just talk about your emotions and all that. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I did all that, and I posted it on Facebook, trying to see the difference, just for the hell of it, And I went, then my wife's like, well, you need to go see Stephen Gunther. Stephen Gunther's the other guy here in town. I'm like, all right. So I went down there. I was like, look, I got to talk to you. I don't know what's wrong with me. I did this investigation, and I don't feel right. I need some help. And I was crying.
Yeah,
like I had tears coming. I had tears coming my eyes because I just didn't know. And his wife just grabbed me by my arm and says, you got a lot of stuff around you right now. You need to come downstairs. Like, she was dead serious, and I'm bawling like a freaking baby. And then I was down there about 45 minutes, about an hour, and she was doing all this stuff and ringing these bells and all the stuff she was burning. And holy hell, I swear I thought I was 16 years old again.
Yeah, you feel like you can fly or whatever. That's what I'm looking for.
Man, like, I have never felt like that before. She said I had a lot of bad juju around me. So my wife thinks it's because I don't carry any protection with me when I go investigate.
You don't carry anything?
Mm-mm.
You don't, like,
no.
do anything or say any sort of prayer before you go or nothing?
No.
Do you, like, make your bubble of protection? No?
No.
What are you doing?
Well, because the reason why is I had this theory. That's probably not right, but I had this thing in my head where I would think, like, okay, so I'm just going to investigate, I'm going to collect some evidence, and I'm going to go on my way, And so the years I've been doing it, I just didn't really care about it. I thought, that's stupid. Ain't nothing going to attach to me. Now I do, though. I have a stone that his wife gave me, and I haven't had any problems since. But she says it's because I don't protect myself, and I've had all these spirits kind of like nitpick,
Yeah,
picking at me.
If you have any sort of opening on your aura from anything going on, like your dad dying or anything that affects you that gives you any sort of deterioration, there will be a little hole in your aura where they can get in, like parasites, attachments, things like that. I was like you before.
Like years
I was
or
like, yeah, I've been doing this for years. I've never had anything like that. Never say never. But yeah, I went up to cleanse a house. I pulled up. Generally, when I pull up to a place, I can tell if something's there. I could not tell. It was right behind a Catholic church, and I go in there. I show her how to sage because I sold her this kit that comes with sage and elderberries and juniper berries and blessed cedar, palo santo, all kinds of stuff. And I'm showing her how to use it. I'm covered in sage smoke the whole time, so when I leave, I don't sage myself and do anything. The only thing I have is my tourmaline and selenite in my pocket. That night, when I got home, later on, get undressed, go and put on my pajamas, as soon as I took off my pants, about 30 minutes later, is when this thing attached to me. I broke my $7,000 camera. Like, so many crazy things happened. I woke up behind the wheel of my car naked, heading towards the reservation, and I'm like, I don't know where the hell I'm going or what the fuck is going on, but I need to go home. I need to go home. I need to go home right now. Hoping Johnny Law don't pull me over and catch me naked, because I don't want that to happen, but I made it home. My husband and my kids were locked in the master bedroom. I figured that's for a reason, so I put my pajamas back on and laid down, watched TV, and went to sleep. And the next day, my husband was not pissed off at all. He was just like genuinely concerned. Are you okay? I know that wasn't you. He said, not only did my voice change, but my facial structure changed, and just the things I was saying and stuff. He knew it wasn't me. It was crazy. I'm glad I woke up and I didn't end up on the reservation, because I would have been really freaked out. Where am I? Where'd these bushes come from?
That's funny right there.
That was my craziest one so far, but there was one where my husband's like, come outside, I gotta tell you something, and it's because of the things that come into our house. And so as soon as I walked out the gate, something attached to me, and I could feel it. Like you said, I got pissed off for no apparent reason. And I couldn't understand why I was feeling pissed off, and my husband starts talking to me, and I start going off about random different things that don't even make sense. And this is the only time that I've ever been possessed that I could hear what I was saying. So I turned around, but my head keeps facing towards him and saying all these horrible things. And I'm walking towards the gate. As soon as I go back in the gate, I feel better. This thing is off me, and I know I just need to distance myself to keep it from going on any longer. But yeah, that was insane. That's the first time I've ever been a witness to my own possession. And I could hear the things coming out, but I couldn't stop them. The only thing I could do was turn and walk away, and it was funny how my head just kept being this way and my body was this way, you know? It was really strange.
Yeah, it's like when we were doing that Ouija board thing. Denise, one of my investigators, and that damn board was going kind of crazy, you know? She's like, I can't do this no more. If it smells so only me, I gotta go get my grandbabies.
My babies!
That was so funny. I'm sorry, I had to put that in there. It was hilarious.
Well, it is funny, but it does affect our kids too. Like, my son, right in front of this door right here, that's next to me, which attaches to my bedroom. There's a room in between, but he saw the Hat Man the same night my daughter did in her house in Ignacio, which used to be a Catholic church. Now it's a house. I think churches that are no longer churches should be moved or torn down, and something else should be built instead of letting that be there, because there's so many things that want in to make this hallowed ground unhallowed ground. You know what I mean?
Right. I don't know. I mean, I can see all that, but I don't know. It seems like it'd be safe for some spirits, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially when you got churches there, like where graveyards are at. You know, I would think that would be their safe point, I guess.
You would
think. They feel more comfortable.
Everything was fine until they went into the attic, which was... The entrance was in their bedroom closet. Going into the attic, they found a satanic Bible. They found these bubbly black rocks. They found all kinds of cassette tapes. They should have given them to me, but they threw them away, and they let their friend take the bubbly rocks and the satanic Bible, and he could not take the rocks out of his pocket. It was really weird, and he acted really strange after that.
That is weird.
And that's when my daughter first started having the Hat Man come around. First she saw what her boyfriend would look like in the future, but yeah, it was insane. But we are down to our last 4 minutes. Do you want to tell our listeners where to find you guys, how to find you, and how to contact you?
Yeah. You can reach us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and just type in Memphis Ghost Hunters. And we have a website called www.memphisghosthunters.net. It has like all our merch on there. So, but yeah, and we go live every Saturday at 8 p.m. and talk about the paranormal field. Voila.
That's awesome. I was just thinking the other day, had I done this when I was doing SOR, I'll just call it that, my boss would have been so pissed off at me because you're at a competing time for me, but I personally believe in para-unity and putting everybody out there. And
I do.
You're my brother in the paranormal, and I think even though you got bigger numbers than me, I did not know. I was very impressed when you said, I got 27,000 followers. I'm like, holy shnikes. I'm like in the realm of popularity. But no, it's just that people enjoy what we're doing. It's just not me. It's my whole team, you know.
they enjoy our little dumb stuff we put on there and the communication that we give, and we plug in live shows and give them the video and show them the evidence.
I just think it's so awesome because there's so many people out there like you and me that have had paranormal experiences. They don't feel like there's anywhere they can really go to get it out or feel accepted or whatnot. So that's what I like about here and other places that do that. And your site, you're out there helping people. Do you guys charge or do you do it for free?
No, we don't charge anything. We've had people donate in the past or buy a shirt or whatever,
Yeah.
It's all self-funded,
That's awesome
We don't charge
because
anything.
I don't charge either. I feel like if I did, I'd be taking advantage because there's really not a lot of help out there in the paranormal field.
Hey, if I could charge, it'd be $100 an hour. No, I was kidding.
Hell yeah. What about $1,000 an hour?
A minimum 4 hour.
That's right.
No, we don't do that. Actually, we got someone filmed us not too long ago, about a year ago. So we're going to be on a little episode on Netflix, and it's called Haunted Routes. So that's kind of cool. So check them guys out, Haunted Routes. Check them out, y'all.
Yeah, but it's really funny because the clock I was looking at said we had barely any time. We actually have 15 minutes right now. You couldn't make this stuff up if you tried. Well, shoot. Since we got more time, I want to know, what was the paranormal investigation that you had that made you not really doubt it? Like, it really blew your mind and you're like, the paranormal does exist.
On an investigation, I always believed paranormal stuff existed, but not like when my dad's stuff happened. Then, but on an investigation, it was probably in Illinois. I went on a ghost tour. I saw some weird stuff going on over there. I was really intrigued by. The guy had the Wonder Box, Wonder Box with the portal. He had some really cool stuff coming out, and that was the first periscope I saw. The original periscope, the one that stands up like that. It doesn't spread out. It was real close together. I saw it going on command. So that was pretty cool. They like, wow, that's pretty neat, It couldn't be explained. That's the best way I could put it. But like I said, if it wasn't my wife, I definitely wouldn't be doing this. And she's really been very supportive on the whole thing. Because most women would have dumped me by now.
I know. That's another thing. We were talking about Zach Baggins breaking stuff. And you guys, I've been hard on him. I have a particular name. I call him Dildo Baggins. But yeah, I was watching a show where he was actually going back and revisiting his clients and fixing stuff that he had basically torn asunder. And I think he came to a realization that he had done something wrong and they were doing it the wrong way. And so now they don't really antagonize and stuff. They try to be respectful unless it's a spirit that needs to be antagonized.
Right.
But yeah, I have a different light on Mr. Baggins now, and I appreciate what he's doing. And I know we all go through our different phases and we do different things differently because we learn. Like, it's a learning process. There is no manual for this.
Right.
Just like parenting, there's no manual for it,
There is a book for dummies.
I've seen lots of those. I'm always drawn to it because of the faith.
Yeah.
I can relate.
I don't know.
Read that book? I'm good.
So, have you never been aggressive towards a spirit?
Oh, when the Hat Man was
I
in my
wanna know.
daughter's house, I did talk a lot of shit to him. I'm like, you're just a coward. You're nothing. You just take over spirits and use them, and you're just a coward. And he didn't attack me. He didn't follow me home. I was very surprised. But I did antagonize him because he's messing with my spawn. Like, she's 20 years old now, but she's still my baby, And you mess with my baby, I'm going to mess you up. I don't care what realm or dimension or whatever you're in. I will fuck you up. I ain't playing around.
I've been aggressive before towards spirits, and nothing really bad happened. You know, more or less taunting. I know it sounds bad to say that, but
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for.
but so I've been to locations where I know there's something there, but you're not getting the activity, and then I'll find a way to like really amp it up. You know what I mean? Get it to talk, and
It
it seems to work pretty well.
Yeah, it works sometimes, and sometimes they shut down. You know, it's kind of like people, depending on
Right.
what kind of trauma you've been in. Sometimes it'll amp you up. Sometimes it'll shut you down where you can't say anything. But
So what we like to do is like when we got the K2 meter on and there's nothing going on, and we were like, well, we bet you can't light it up. You know, stuff like that. You know, try to, you know, what was that? Reverse psychology, you know?
yeah, it's like, bet, I'll show you.
Hey, but it actually works, though. That's the crazy part about it.
It does,
So-
and there's different tools and different... I don't think antagonization should be used on every spirit, but there are certain ones that need it. Certain entities, spirits, or whatever the hell you are. Hat Man is insane. Have you had experience with him?
None.
Okay.
I've heard stories and stuff, and I've never seen anything like that. Or Goat Man, or Bigfoot, or anything like that.
Yeah. I've seen skinwalkers, but I haven't seen Bigfoot. I've heard him through boulders. But yeah.
Yeah,
Man is interesting. Like, my husband was telling my daughter, there's no way he could have been over here at our house and over there at your house at the same time. Yes, he does. Like, this guy's everywhere all at once. Like, this guy is omnipresent. It's very interesting.
yeah, it's very interesting. I'm not gonna say I don't believe it. I think it does exist, but I just haven't experienced anything like that. Knock on wood.
I do that. I got lots of wood here just for that. Actually, real right here, because this wood...
That compressed dust.
Yeah, what is it called? Gold? I'm not sure.
A little bit of fiberglass in there. You never know. But yeah, I might say it exists and it don't exist because I just don't really know. I haven't experienced it, so.
Well, I've been Tennessee for a while. I was in at first Morristown, Tennessee, with, I call him my first daughter's donor.
Morristown.
Yes, I hate it.
Really?
And
That's a
then-
small town.
Yeah, and then my aunt came and saved me and took me to Fayetteville, Tennessee. And I lived and worked there until I birthed my daughter in a haunted freaking hospital. It was crazy. Like, I was with her and I'm hearing these women screaming and I'm like, are they okay? Are they okay? And the nurse is like, we're talking about you're the only one here. And I'm like, I could hear women screaming down the hall, like, giving birth. And shortly after I had my daughter, I had her in 99. They actually shut it down. And I'll want to go through, I can't, is it Adventures? They went through the Fayetteville Hospital. That place is weird.
Really? So, do you remember a town by the name of Fayetteville?
Yeah.
Outside Morristown?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we did an investigation out there, man, and that lady right there was a wacko nutcase. So she sent me, this is not really paranormal, but she sent me a bird-like, shadowed figured thing, and her chickens were being eaten up and gone and everything else. Man, we went out there, we drove 3 hours away to go get a damn chicken.
How?
Really? Like, I mean, it was out of the country, it was in the middle of nowhere. And
There you are.
taking in at night, and then I looked at the photo, and at nighttime I looked at the chicken, and the photo, the chicken, it was all the same. I was so mad. I went out there for no damn reason.
You're like, what the hell over? You're like, all
I
I
was
see is a
mad.
bunch of damn chickens.
We didn't stay long. We stayed for a couple hours, you know. I didn't play with the damn chicken. I just left.
But
I was hot. I was freaking mad, man. Well, the photo she sent me was taken at night, and you can see the outline, right? And it was black. And actually, it was from her DVR system on the outside of the house. But once we took photos, and you can match them and look the same, she said she had a skinwalker on her property, or freaking, yeah, she was a skinwalker with those, and then because they say skinwalkers could change into different things or whatever, and yeah, just like then she tries to say she had a mound on her property.
A burial mound?
Yeah. Well, I'm personally part Native, and I practice a lot of the Native American religion, or I used to. I need to get back into it again, but I know from my personal experience, all mounds were made from sand, and most of the mounds, the Indians had to haul the sand, and it usually was hauled in baskets. Okay, so where would you get sand from? Local, like rivers and creeks, or some type of running water source to build their mounds with. Well, there was no creeks, there was no freaking rivers, there was nothing close by, and I told everybody, give me a stick or a shovel, or this so-called mound is at, because we could dig a foot into this thing, and it's be sandy as hell. I dug me a foot deep hole. It was nothing but red clay. So I'd kind of debunk that one. Yeah. That's the experience I get.
Well,
it's part of it.
Have you seen that one that's like shaped like a snake? And then there's mounds everywhere, like Ireland, where my family is from. And they have mounds there too. They're everywhere, and they're so full of energy. It's amazing.
Right. So I know the mound here in Memphis that people say it's not one, but it's the shape of a turtle. I don't know if you're familiar like with Choctaws and Cherokee people or not, but
I'm Irish Cherokee.
A turtle mound was probably a how can I say it? Like a woman's mound. Mm-hmm. So it was probably someone well known, or someone very powerful, or it was someplace for a woman. Well, on this mound, if you're a man and you walk on it, you get sick and dizzy and throw up, and you don't feel good. A woman could walk on it and they feel fine.
Oh wow! I wonder if it's for babies,
right?
Like a baby mound.
I don't know. As far as my knowledge, they didn't do anything like that for babies. As far as I know, usually mounds was where, like, the chief or someone of importance or somebody very important that had died. It's when they built the mounds, or it was the top of some mounds were built for like where the chief would live on top, because they would be flat on top. They wouldn't be completely rounded. From my understanding, anyway, what I've read. So I hope I'm right. But that particular mound is very, very interesting.
Well, it's also interesting how there's lore like folklore and native lore and such.
Right.
And then there's documented lore or facts, whatever you want to call it. I think, it's a good mix. Take what you want from each of them. I think you can decipher for yourself what is fact, what is fiction.
Correct.
We have that gift. It's pretty amazing. You just got to learn how to use it. It's common sense. It's not a flower that grows in everybody's garden, but, if you water it and nurture it, it'll grow.
Yeah, it's true. It's so interesting, though.
Well,
I see some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, I'm being honest this time when I say we're actually at the end of our time. We're at a minute.
No, we're not.
I'm going to be like, just kidding. You got another 30 minutes. But thank you so much for being on the show tonight. It was so awesome having you on.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate that. That was a lot of fun.
No worries. It was awesome. I had a good time. It was awesome hearing your story. I'm hearing a lag in my headphones. I don't know if anybody else is. My internet has been very slow. I also want to thank everybody there on Facebook as well. We are Paradox on Spreaker, Twitter, all those fun places. Thank you for listening Beyond Omniverse tonight. It was so amazing having you guys. And I'm sorry I wasn't in the chat room tonight. I was just really into what Jack was saying, and a lot of times I'm there, but tonight I wasn't, and I apologize for that. I'll be there next time. But tomorrow night we have Wicked Paranormal on, and it's two daughters. One daughter got SB7, and she was hooked like you and I, Jack. And that started their whole group. This is how many different groups are started off that you guys get. We're all in this together make it a little better, and together, my friends, we are Paradox Media, because without you, there is no us. If you guys want to join us, Skype after party, look me up at tessa.thomas30@gmail.com. That's tessa.n.thomas30@gmail.com. That's also my email. Or you can call us at 970-335-9596. And 99 Live and Light. Have a wonderful rest of your Saturday evening or Sunday day.